San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime years.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? Happy Wednesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We're now counting down. It's our third to last show of the year of 2025. Bennett Woods have two shows left. I guess today was the last regular day for Bennett Woods. What's the context of that? What did they say? What is it? What are they doing tomorrow?
I have no idea, Chato. You're gonna have to let us know, because we just kind of assumed it's a gimmick day tomorrow before the extravaganza on Friday.
They're doing the extravaganza on Friday, right?
Yes.
What does Twitter have to say about this? With
We're
Bennett Woods.
Twitter with anything?
It's the Bennett Woods account. Do you not trust the Bennett Woods account on Twitter?
I don't think they have.
It says final regular show starts
No,
now.
I understand that.
What does it mean? Oh, they're doing a year in review tomorrow?
Oh, that could be it.
Year in review is tomorrow.
Got it.
Year in
Yeah, I got that.
yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Fair enough.
Fair enough is right. So they have why are they?
If I've got 2 days left of the year, I don't want to work either, so I don't blame them at all.
I want to know San Diego State plays Air Force today, right?
Yes.
See, you know what? Right when I said you could trust the Bennett Woods account, they had San Diego State, Fresno State for one of the are they playing Fresno State on Saturday?
Are they playing Fresno State in a different sport?
What sport would they be playing them in? In which Bennett Woods would be talking about them?
Brother, I
got a lot of questions,
This
apparently,
is
that you don't have answers to.
This is me trying to give the benefit of the doubt that you just refuse to allow me to do. You did it yesterday too with what was his name? It's not Warren Sapp? Whatever.
San Diego State plays Air Force today, as we know. It's just said on the graphic, San Diego State, Fresno State. It has to be in some random sport, or it's just a typo. They got Arizona on Saturday.
Yeah, they do. It's Arizona.
Arizona's pretty good. Would you consider number one in the country pretty good? That's pretty good.
I mean, I would say halfway decent, yeah.
I would say it's like a lot different than Air Force.
Go Aztecs has it. Badminton.
I think he's trolling you. I don't think they're actually talking about Aztec Fresno State badminton. I don't even know if San Diego State has badminton.
It would appear as though they don't.
I don't think they do. I think you got duped on that one.
God.
How about
women's basketball plays Fresno State tonight?
There you go. That's what it is. Maybe they talk about the women's basketball team, since they're at Fresno State tonight.
Yes, women's basketball is at Fresno State tonight.
How about San Diego State in their next two games? And we're going to talk about this later on in the show. Mark Ziegler had an article previewing the Air Force Falcons.
Nice to know we listen to the show, guys.
Air Force is like the exact opposite of Arizona in basketball. Air Force, and this is why you got to absolutely dismantle Air Force tonight. I know they got a 7-footer on their team, but Air Force is a school that cannot give out money for NIL. They're a military academy. Like Army and Navy cannot give out NIL money. Air Force, part of the deal. They cannot give out name, image, and likeness money. They also cannot accept transfers in. Transfers out all the time, but they don't accept transfers into Air Force. So they can't hit the transfer portal and they can't use NIL. How are they going to compete in college basketball? It's almost impossible. They have 9 freshmen, 3 sophomores, 4 juniors, and no seniors at the Air Force Academy. I mean, they haven't been good in basketball in relatively years. I mean, they are gritty and it's hard to play them at Air Force. Good thing you don't have to do that quite yet because the altitude and everything like that. But this is an Air Force team that can't do a lot of things because of requirements of the military academies. Then you look to Arizona on Saturday. Arizona has been paying their players since like before it was cool. You think Arizona was getting all these kids to go to Tucson for like how great the desert is?
Legally, yes.
As somebody who grew up an Arizona fan, and knows the ins and outs of Arizona, Lute Olson, phenomenal head basketball coach, great basketball coach. I don't think he convinced Mike Bibby to go live in Tucson for 4 years.
I would ask you,
reluctantly,
as someone who has a family member living in Tucson, I would ask you to not make fun of Tucson.
I can make fun of Tucson. I live there. I can make fun of Tucson. And it's Tucson, if you want to pronounce it in the Native American language that is what Tucson is named after. I learned that in my Many Nations of Native America class in Tucson, Frank. About 500 kids in that class. That class that I had in Tucson was in their theater. They have a theater in the student union that they play like movies on the weekends. My class was in that theater. 500 kids in that class.
Wow.
500 kids in a class is ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. It's the biggest class I've ever had in college.
It's ridiculous that ESPN's still on 6 minutes into the show.
Huh?
I said what was ridiculous is that now ESPN is still on. It's 6 minutes into the show.
They added all those ESPN Plus channels now. I watched the TCU basketball game the other day on ESPN
fair.
Plus.
That's fair.
I didn't have to like log out and like go into something else. It was pretty great. Anyway, so you go from a program like Air Force that can't spend any money to a program like Arizona that's been spending money for years. My mom didn't want to admit that as an Arizona fan. She's like, there's no way. And I'm like, I don't know how you were getting all these guys to go live in Tucson. Have you been to Tucson? It's nice during the springtime. Tucson, there's a reason why it's called the Dirty T. I mean, it's a college town. That's it. And that's basically all Tucson's got. And again, before anybody gets upset about me making fun of Tucson, I've lived there. I understand. Like, Tucson's not the greatest place in the world. Into the mountains and stuff, great place to retire. Mount Lemon's nice. They have jaguars walking around. Some other type of big cats. Kind of cool in the other mountains. You can play, it's great for golf. But like Tucson's not that great for an 18 to 20-something-year-old. But that's a program that's been spending top dollar on their basketball program for a long time. And they're number one in the country. And so you're going to go from playing a team that can't spend any money on NIL to a team that's probably spending some of the most NIL in college basketball in the Arizona Wildcats. What a difference in games Wednesday to Saturday. So for San Diego State, got to be able to take care of business against Air Force, and then got to keep things close against Arizona. I don't think they got the dogs to beat Arizona. Arizona is one of the best. And to be honest with you, Arizona versus Michigan would be a great potential matchup in the future. But I look at the Arizona Wildcats, and they're going to be in town, right, for the Holiday Bowl. Some of their personnel were here last night for the director's dinner.
Yes.
For the Red Jackets. But you look at their basketball schedule, there is nobody. I know they beat Abilene Christian last night, but there is not a more difficult schedule than the Arizona Wildcats schedule that they went through and went undefeated, by the way. This Arizona basketball team had gone through, and I'm loading it up right now. I mean, I could go off the top of my head, but it's hard to remember all of the things, and our internet stinks. So, anyway. The Arizona Wildcats in basketball. And I'm surprised Wilbur's not in the chat today to talk about it. They're number one in the country. But they're 10-0, and they have beaten teams like the number 3 team in the country at the time, Florida, and beat their ass. That was important game number 1 in the Hall of Fame series in Las Vegas. Then they went on and they played UCLA, the 15th team in the country at the time, and they beat them 69-65 in the Experian Hall of Fame series in LA. As part of that series, they then went on and played UConn. Actually, no, not even. They went on the road and played the number 3 team in the country, the UConn Huskies, and they beat their ass 71-67. And then later on, just this past week, they play Auburn at home, 20 in the country, and beat them up 97-68. Then they go to Birmingham. They played in the CM Newton Classic against Alabama. And how we talked about this the other day with the when we heard the audio from the Penn State athletic director, and one of the players was like, "Oh, at Alabama, at least you could drive to Birmingham. It's not too far." Birmingham is where they played this game, so not really. It's a neutral site, but not really a neutral site. Alabama, number 12 in the country. Arizona beat them 96-75. This team's rolling right now. San Diego State's got to try to keep that game close. Because guess what? Not only do they got to play Arizona at a neutral site, that neutral site is in Phoenix at the Mortgage Matchup Center. I even know what that is. Is that where the Suns play? The Mortgage Matchup Center? What is that?
Hold on.
That's got to be like where the... Is that where the... That's where the Suns play. It's called the Mortgage Matchup Center. That is an interesting name for an arena. So the Aztecs will play Arizona on Saturday at 7:30 Pacific on ESPN2 at a neutral site. And by the way, even if they played Arizona at home, Arizona would take over the building. Arizona travels extremely well. That's going to be they don't have to play at McHale, but they're going to be playing at a neutral site in Phoenix. That's a tough game for the Aztecs. So you got to be able to take care of business tonight against Air Force and then dive into what is going to be a very difficult game against Arizona on Saturday. Now, here's the thing. If San Diego State wins that game and gives Arizona their first loss, that could be the game that gets them in the NCAA tournament. It could just be that game. Because Arizona is legit. And Arizona, once they're done with San Diego State, they're going to play Bethune-Cookman and South Dakota State, who they're going to hammer at the McHale Center. Then they get to a very difficult Big 12 conference. And that's like the old school Mountain West, where every game is going to be a quad one game. Almost every single game for Arizona in conference play is going to be a quad one game. They got to play Kansas twice. They got to play BYU twice. Texas Tech's always solid in college basketball. They're going to help carry you through, and it's going to be a big bump. And here's the thing. If San Diego State keeps that game within 10 points, I bet you they shoot up the leaderboard in the net and all the other ranking systems. So San Diego State's got a game tonight against the Air Force. We're going to talk about that later on the show. Jim Bowden won Win Sock of the Month award yesterday, right? By the way, Joe Klatt was in town yesterday. I wonder if he heard any of our part of us calling him a Win Sock. He was at the director's dinner last night. It's a good thing I didn't go. I would have had to call him a Win Sock to his face.
Oops.
Hopefully he got a rental car. He's driving around. One of the Red Jackets. Calling him a Win Sock on the show. Hey, you know what? We said we love Joel Klatt. Okay,
Uber Joel Klatt.
Guys listening to the radio. Guys, his Uber taking him to the hotel. It's just us just beating him up. He probably doesn't even care if he actually heard it.
Mistakes were made.
Jim Bowden might have heard. Who knows?
Jim Bowden responded to a couple of prominent people in the sports fandom yesterday as well.
So he went on and he defended his comments that he made. His comments were stupid, but it kind of opens up a can of worms of how do we add this to the fandom rules? I'm a gatekeeper of fandom. I'm going to tell you if you're a bandwagoner or not, and I'll say it to your face, and I don't really care.
We need an actual book. Maybe that's something we do
write the rules.
Yeah, over the winter is we flush out all of the rules and make an actual book.
And I'm gonna put that wig on, the judge's wig that they do, and I'm gonna rule on fandom.
Please don't.
You are now found guilty of being a bandwagoner. Where's the gavel? Where's the gavel they use on Gwen and Chris?
I think it's in front of you somewhere.
It's somewhere there. You are guilty of being a bandwagoner. We're going to do that later on in the show. We'll also talk some NFL football today as we set up the rest of the show, as we take a look at what this is a big weekend in football. Frank Schwab at Yahoo Sports will give us the breakdown coming up at 10:35. We'll talk a little bit more about the NFL here in this hour. Baseball, latest rumors from Major League Baseball. Mets got a signing today, huh?
Yep.
Huh? Just another Yankees retread for the New York Mets. Baseball regulating use of in-game technology. Saris wrote an article on that. We'll talk about that in the 11 o'clock hour. We'll talk about our fan gatekeeping rules. And then there's a couple other things with San Diego State in terms of, like, we didn't really fully discuss what they have to do in terms of student fees to try to compete the NIL and what they're exactly competing with in college football. There was an article yesterday about the spending of the teams that made the college football playoff and how much money they're spending and how much money they're spending on coaching and everything like that. And it's just a different game that they're playing. I will say this. I mentioned this to Frank off the air. San Diego State football, despite what everybody's said about San Diego State football the last couple of years, they've been a winner since 2014. If you go back and count the wins during the college football playoff era of college football, so 2014 on, did you know that San Diego State is the 24th best team in college football? In terms of wins, they have the 24th most wins in college football since 2014. You can't tell me the team doesn't win. The team wins. But at the same point, as we go back to the playoff conversation we had yesterday, if they can't have a path to the national championship and there's not a clear path to the national championship, what's the point? And I think that's another big reason why fans don't go to games for San Diego State. You start looking at what the money is involved with this at the college football playoff level. I mean, I just saw a thing for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is hosting a playoff game this weekend, right? Their economic impact for Oxford, Mississippi on Saturday is expected to be $75+ million economic impact for a college football playoff game. And you wonder why these schools are fighting to get these games at their locations. And you wonder why bowl games are fighting to keep bowl games alive. $75+ million economic impact for Oxford, Mississippi this weekend for Tulane. It's not even like Alabama rolling in. It's Tulane. We'll talk about that and how much money is at stake for all of these teams in the college football playoff and what San Diego State has to try to do to even compete. As we talk about Air Force later on, that's the big game for San Diego State. You know why it's the big game? Because it's the next game. We'll talk more about some college football quarterbacks into the portal. We'll get you everything you need to know about baseball news. And when we come back, we are going to take a look at the coaching staff for the San Diego Padres. They have finalized the coaching staff. Who's going to help out Craig Stammen? We will tell you when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. August at 97 The Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Got a lot of my Christmas shopping done as of yesterday. I got a couple more things to do. I texted you who I saw Christmas shopping yesterday.
Yes,
UTC.
you did. And you, by the way,
I didn't want to bother him.
He draws the foul.
fell on you for not getting him on the show.
I didn't want to bother him.
And
the guy was shopping for his wife at Nordstrom.
And I will put my hand up here, as J-Dubs noticed in the chat.
He draws the foul.
I'll put my hand up. There's no Braden Surprenant show YouTube page stream today.
Good.
I forgot.
And guess what? I just added it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you just click it and it just re-adds.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, now there is.
So there you go. It should be on there. Well, for some reason it didn't work. We'll figure that out in a second. I didn't want to bother him. I might have his number already. I'm going to check real quick. I don't. I could probably get it. But I saw a manager walking around UTC yesterday. A manager that used to play for the Padres. A manager that still lives here in San Diego.
Clearly.
Anybody want to take any guesses of who I saw?
In chat? Because I know the answer.
Hey, Frank knows the answer. Mark Kotze was walking around UTC yesterday. How about that? Nobody had any idea who he was. I'm like, that guy looks like Mark Kotze. Like, I look at him and I go like, that guy looks familiar. And then I look, because I was with my decided to tag along with my parents who were going shopping. And I looked and I saw my dad and he was like, that looks like Mark Kotze. And I'm like, I think that is Mark Kotze.
So it's purely
shopping at Nordstrom. Hopefully I didn't give away his Christmas presents to the fam. His kids still go to Cathedral, though, I think. I mean, that Cathedral baseball team's got, like, Mark Kotze's kid on it. It's got, like, Xavier Nady's kid on it. It's got Shohei Darvish on it.
Mm-hmm.
No pressure. Better win some games. Shout out Gary Remacher, head baseball coach at Cathedral. But, yeah, it was funny. I was like, it's Mark Kotze out there shopping. Are you done with your shopping, Frank? Have you started your Christmas shopping?
Yes, I have.
You do it online, or do you take on the storm of the malls?
I went. I honestly only bought.
What's your home field mall? Your home stadium.
The Otay Ranch Mall.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a solid mall right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty solid. I'm not going to drive all the way down
that,
to the
or
mall, but it's pretty solid.
It's either that, or if I'm looking for something a little bit more, it's Plaza Bonita. Probably would be the other one that's like really close. But other than that,
we go to UTC since it's like just down the road. We used to go to North County Fair a lot. North County Fair doesn't really have anything there anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just a bunch of empty buildings. Used to go to Fashion Valley too, but like the traffic in Mission Valley to get down there is just such a bear. So
that's why taking the train's nice.
You could take the train. Take the trolley too. I physically can't take the trolley anywhere because you're in Scripps Ranch. So you'd have to drive somewhere or then like bus it, and then it's going to take even like double the time it takes me just to jump in my car and go do that. Went shopping yesterday. The Christmas, I don't know, something about shopping in a mall for Christmas, which is kind of nice. I want to talk about this Padres coaching staff in a second. I know somebody in town. A lot of people know this guy, and I see it on his Instagram every year. And I'm going to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. Tell me if he's insane or not. Is tradition, there might be people that have this tradition. His tradition is he goes Christmas shopping for his family on Christmas Eve every year. That would stress me out. I could not do that. I could not. So he goes in the evening too of Christmas Eve. It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve. He goes Christmas shopping.
Right when nothing is out.
Right. So that's when he gets all his Christmas shopping done for his family's tradition. So he's got to go shopping, knock everybody out off his list. And he just does for his family, just everybody else on his list, whatever he has to get. Wraps it that night and has it ready the next day. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? We'll talk about that later on. Let's get to this coaching staff. Padres finalized their 2026 coaching staff under new manager Craig Stammen. A lot of new faces, but the overarching theme is clear. It's a lot of continuity plus control staff. It's a group that has been together. It's a group that Craig Stammen believes in, and it's a lot of Craig Stammen's guys. And when you have a new manager, you want to have people that are pulling the rope in the right direction. Interesting that Ruben Niebla obviously stayed, but he's also the associate manager now. He's the pitching coach and the associate manager. Niebla remains most influential voice in that room. I think that's probably above a bench coach at this point. But Craig Stammen, first-time manager, internal hire. Ruben Niebla, pitching coach and associate manager, was a finalist for the managerial job. Publicly described by Stammen as someone he plans to lean on heavily. And then you got a lot of guys from the Washington Nationals. You got Randy Knorr, who's the bench coach. You got Steven Souza Jr., who's the hitting coach. You got Bob Henley, who's the third base coach. These are all big-time relationship hires. And if you can't get super excited or super upset about the coaches around Craig Stammen. All that you hope is that he brings in people that he trusts and he's familiar with. That's usually a level of success. And I like the fact that he was able to keep some guys and also bring in players or former players and coaches that he has a relationship with. They also got a lot of internal additions to this staff. Ryan Goins is the infield instructor. Kevin Plawecki, I just saw his jersey hanging up at Fitness Quest the other day. He used to work out at Fitness Quest. The gym I work out at. He's got the Kevin Plawecki New York Mets jersey, the 22.
Yeah, that's where he started.
That one's hanging up at Fitness Quest. He was part of the organization in some capacity before. He is now the catching coach. Raul Pedron is the hitting instructor who came from AAA El Paso. Vinny Lopez, field coordinator, outfield and base running. So a lot of internal candidates as well. And here are the group of players coaches that return to the staff. Nick Punto is staying as an infield coach. David Macias is staying to coach first base. Mike McCoy and Pat O'Sullivan are staying to be assistant coaches. Ben Fritz is staying to be the bullpen coach. Peter Somerville is staying to be a game planning and pitching strategy coach. Alan Craig and AJ Ellis, two former players who have helped out the organization, they're staying as special assistants. So you got a good look at, or a good mix of veteran coaches that have been in the organization, and coaches that Craig Stammen likes, is familiar with, and he trusts, Frank.
No, exactly. And that's what you need. When you're trying to learn the job, as Craig Stammen is going to have to do this year, you also you want one less thing to worry about, and that's the people around you. So of course you're going to go with people you trust. And I think he did this the right way. He mixed nicely together a group of people that he trusts, plus a group of people that have been here that already have those established relationships, instead of just going out and getting a full brand new coaching staff. So as far as before we've seen anything of what this team is going to look like on the field, this is going very much in the right direction under the Craig Stammen era so far.
There are two coaches that are out of the remaining part of the organization. Brian Esposito is the former bench coach, is not returning to the Major League Baseball staff. Morgan Burkhart not returning to the staff either. Both are expected to remain in the organization in some capacity. Here's the other thing, too. When talked about the hiring of the new manager for the Padres, they had, Mike Schilt left and, retired. He moved on from being a manager. And you had to bring somebody in, but it was an interesting situation. He was retiring from a team that was very, very good and didn't have multiple problems. So you didn't need like a whole change.
Correct, yeah.
For your staff, and you're bringing back a lot of the staff that you had before when you had winning ways. So you get to continue some of the staff that has been part of these 4 playoff appearances in 6 years. You add a couple other pieces from the outside, but Craig Stammen is a guy that was part of some of those teams as a player, and most of the guys that were big impacts on the staff over the last handful of years are staying to be part of this coaching staff, with a couple of new faces that Craig Stammen trusts, that he believes in. So I like the way the staff shapes out. Again, I don't think you can get too high, get too low on it, but overall, it's a good mix of guys that the new manager wants, mixed with some continuity that the team is familiar with. This is the best way that you could be able to put this kind of staff together. That's the latest that we got, the finalized staff of the Major League Baseball team for the San Diego Padres. When we come back, we're going to take a dive into the National Football League. Midweek of a big week in the NFL. We'll quickly recap Week 15, but it's a huge Week 16 for playoff implications. We'll get a full preview when Frank Schwab joins us on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. All guests on 97 through the Fan, join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. And now, joining us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline is a writer for Yahoo Sports. He covers the National Football League. His name is Frank Schwab. He joins us on the Braden Surprenant show. Frank, what's going on? How's your Wednesday going? A little midweek before we start some more NFL action coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, and a great game on Thursday, too. Game of the year, really. I think that's the best matchup there is on the entire NFL regular season with the Rams at the Seahawks. So Week 16 starts off with a bang for sure.
Let's talk about that. I was going to ask you about that a little bit later on, but you mentioned it, and you wrote about it in your latest article that it might be the best game of the entire regular season. As you just said, if you had to pick one outcome that would most dramatically reshape the NFC playoff picture, is this the one? And why is this such a dramatic game this year?
Yeah, and I think just with the way both conferences are this year with no great teams, I don't think any of us really believe that there's a great team out there. We might, after the fact, when somebody wins a Super Bowl, retrofit it and remember the 2025 Rams as a great team when they really were good. But I don't look at this season having any really great teams. So I think getting the number one seed is just massive, even more so than usual, because I think anybody has a chance to beat anybody this year. It's the first time really all my years covering the NFL that I can remember that if we go into the playoffs, and we could pretty much figure out who the 14 teams are right now. If we go into the playoffs and it's not the Panthers in the NFC South, or it's not the Steelers in the AFC North, because I don't think they can win a Super Bowl. But I think the Ravens maybe if you squint because of Lamar Jackson. If that happens, I can make a case that any of the 14 teams can win a Super Bowl. I don't remember that ever happening before. So getting the number one seed is massive because it's one less chance to get upset. It's what I think when anybody could beat anybody, you'd much rather go with, just 2 games to make a Super Bowl instead of 3. So this Seahawks-Rams game, I truly believe is going to determine the number one seed. Not 100% because the Seahawks have a tougher final 2 games than the Rams do, and the Rams could still catch them even if they lose here. But obviously, I think Seattle's pretty much eliminated from consideration for the 1 seed if they lose here. So I just think this is a massive game between the 2 best teams in the NFL. I believe these are the 2 best teams. I believe whoever wins here on Thursday night is going to get the 1 seed, which is going to be so important in a wide open NFC. So yeah, this is the game that's going to change really the way we look at the playoff picture and who the favorite is going to be going forward.
You mentioned it in your article. You said it right there about we pretty much have the teams in the 14 teams in the playoffs. And, you kind of answered this already, but you talked a lot about the parity in the National Football League this season. There's no great teams. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of, teams that are very evenly matched. What has made this year so different when it comes to the parity of the NFL? Is it quarterback play? Is it the fact that all these teams are well rostered? I mean, this seems to be, and you've mentioned it, one of the most parity seasons for the National Football League that we've seen in years.
Yeah, and I truly think it's not one theme. It's just a bunch of little themes. A team like the Eagles being down a little bit because they don't have probably the right offensive coordinator and they struggle on offense a little bit. It's a team like the Chargers, who I truly believe sitting here, if the Chargers kept their offensive line healthy, they'd be far and away the best team in the NFL. But they didn't. They don't have any offensive tackles, really. So, they have their flaws. The Chiefs are down this year, so you don't have this kind of, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid looming over everybody with this ongoing dynasty. Like, just little things add up to the point where we're seeing a lot of new teams in the NFL. I think we're only really, truly seeing one great quarterback in the playoffs, and that's Josh Allen. I guess you can make the case for May or Stafford or anybody like that, but I think the only quarterback right now that's really, making people fearful going into the playoffs is Josh Allen, that he could just put a team on his back. So you just see a bunch of little things adding up to where, just some new teams, some key injuries in some spots, taking what we thought would be really, really good teams back in the pack a little bit. And, you end up with, like you said, a lot of good teams. I'm not saying that all these teams stink. Like, that's not true. I just don't think there's some team where we'll be looking back in 20 years saying, oh, man, that team was just a wagon. Nobody could beat them that year. I just think it's going to be kind of a weird season where we get a random champion. I really, truly believe we're going to be sitting here on Super Bowl Sunday saying, how did we get this Texans-Buccaneers matchup? Or whatever matchup it is. Chargers and the Bears. It's going to be something weird because I don't give anybody in this field more than a 15% chance of winning it all, maybe 20 if I squint real hard. I just think it's so wide open because of a number of different factors.
That makes it really fun. We're talking with Frank Schwab, who covers the NFL for Yahoo Sports. You mentioned in your preview article for Week 16 a couple of different things. One of them was the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Phillip Rivers, obviously very close to home with everybody in San Diego. They're big Phillip Rivers fans, probably more so than Chargers fans at this point in time. We do have a couple of lingering Charger fans out there, and most Charger fans are probably still from San Diego than Los Angeles. But I digress on that entire Chargers topic. Let's talk about the Colts. You mentioned Indianapolis as one of the other teams still hanging around, but with Phillip Rivers at quarterback, as much as we love him here in San Diego, I mean, he looked very old on Sunday, older than he usually looks when he tries to run and do other things. I mean, the guy's 44. It's definitely an uphill climb. They got a very difficult schedule remaining. San Francisco, they got to play Houston, and I think they got Jacksonville at home as well in a different kind of order. But what would actually have to break right for the Colts to sneak into the playoffs, and for all the San Diego fans that don't like the Chargers anymore but would love to see Phillip Rivers in the playoffs? What would make how do they become happy in the next 3 weeks? How do the Colts make the break to make the playoffs?
I truly just don't think it can happen. I guess I'd never say never covering this league so long that we see weird things happen all the time, but I just can't envision them being in the playoffs. I just can't envision them, especially with the tough schedule coming up. I mean, if it was an easy schedule, that's what I'd tell you. You do this, you do that. Now, I will say they played unbelievably well on Sunday. I thought going to Seattle, being less than a minute away from winning that game against a team I truly believe could be the best team in the NFL, I thought it was a great, great effort. But I don't know that you can keep doing that. I don't know you replicate that every week. I think that's one of those. It was a really crushing loss for them, and I don't know if they just get right back up for this week. And even if they do win a couple games down the stretch here, who do you put them in the playoffs over? We talked about, the field is kind of set. We don't know what seeds are going to be what and who's going to win this division or that division. But you got to kind of kick somebody out of the playoffs to get them in. I don't know who that would be. I don't know. I mean, the Bills aren't going anywhere. Chargers aren't going anywhere. So I was like the loser of the Jaguars Texans isn't going anywhere. So it's just hard, and it stinks. The Colts had such a great start to the season, and I thought they were at one point in the conversation for best team in the NFL. There was no fluke over their first 8 games. Then they hit a losing streak. Then they lost Daniel Jones. And I thought Phillip played well. I really for the situation. I didn't think this was prime Phillip Rivers or anything. But given that he was basically on his couch a week before, he's 44 years old, with no quarterback other than Tom Brady has had any remote success at that age. I thought he performed as well as anybody could have expected. It's a cool story. Everybody's rooting for him. I thought the Colts really, really played hard and well, and I was impressed with that. But I just don't see a path. I don't see a path for the Colts making it, and that just stinks for them. It's one of those sad luck stories in the NFL where we just say, this team it was a good team that just had the bad injuries at the wrong time.
Niners, Jaguars, Texans. That's pretty tough. I mean, you're basically in the playoffs already if you're the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. Let's change gears. Talk about the NFC. Now, the NFC, and we talked about it already. I mean, you already have your 14 teams. But the Lions are kind of a team that's still hanging around. They're trying to find a way in. Same kind of situation, right? I mean, they could try to play their way in, but somebody's got to play their way out. Are the Lions the team that most intrigues you in the NFC, or do you see a different sleeper who could potentially make things uncomfortable down the stretch?
I mean, the Lions are interesting, but I don't know what has happened to them this year. And some of that is injuries too on defense. But since the beginning of October, they have not had a 2-game winning streak or a 2-game losing streak. They have alternated wins and losses since the start of October. And if I can't trust them to win 2 in a row, how can I trust them to win 3 in a row to make the playoffs? How can I trust them to win 3 in a row in the playoffs to make a Super Bowl? It gets hard because this team has been so up and down all season long, week to week. It's hard. So, yeah, I don't know there's a lot of teams in the NFC. I just don't know what to make of them. Like the Buccaneers. I thought the Buccaneers, okay, they're bad. They're through 12 weeks or whatever it was. They're banged up. They're getting guys healthy. They have no bad losses on their resume. They had not lost. Their first 5 losses were all against really, really good teams. So I'm like, okay, once they get healthy, they're going to be a sleeper. and then you lose at home to the Saints and the Falcons in back-to-back weeks. Like, what are we doing here? So there's just a bunch of teams in the NFC where I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. The Bears are playing better for sure. I think they got a really, really good shot to beat the banged-up Packers team on Saturday night, but do I trust the Bears to make a Super Bowl? I don't know that I do. Like, I don't. It's just a bunch of teams like that. The Eagles are broken, and I mean, just you go down the list, and you're just like, even the 49ers. The 49ers, the last time they beat a team that currently has a winning record was Week 5. That was against the Rams, that overtime game on Thursday night. They haven't beat a winning team since then. They've caught some really, really good breaks with their schedule. And so do I trust them with that banged-up defense? Not really. It's just, again, you go through every one of the NFC teams, and they're all flaws. They all have flaws, and I don't know. I don't know who's going to come out of the NFC just because it's probably going to be whoever gets the number 1 seed out of the NFC West because they're going to have such an edge. But even those teams, I don't think are fantastic. I think we could poke holes in them too.
We're talking with Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports, covers the National Football League. And Frank, great discussion. And this is the last question I'm going to leave you with because we're pushing to the top of the hour here. But let's take a look across Week 16. As you look across Week 16, which team do you think is under the most pressure? Not just to win a game, but to define who they really are heading into January, heading into the postseason?
I think it's the Packers, just because what are you now? I mean, you lost Micah Parsons last week, and other injuries have piled up too. If it was just Micah Parsons, that'd be bad enough. But, we know Tucker Kraft isn't there. Their defensive tackle, Devontae Wyatt, isn't there. Elgin Jenkins, they're a really, really good offensive lineman. He isn't there anymore. So they go from the extreme emotional letdown of not only losing to the Broncos, but losing your best football player, Micah Parsons. Now you play Saturday night in Soldier Field. I think you pretty much have to win that game to have any shot at the NFC North, or else you're down a game and a half with 2 to go, and that's not good. So I think the Packers are under a lot of pressure to show, hey, we could still be a Super Bowl contender without Micah Parsons. I don't know if they are, though. I don't think they are. I think they wouldn't got Micah Parsons for a reason, because they knew that roster kind of tapped out. Like they're a very good football team with a lot of good players, but they weren't great, and they weren't a championship contender with their their makeup before the Micah Parsons trade. You made the Parsons trade. He really gave you a difference maker, 12.5 sacks, all that kind of stuff. Well, what are you now without Micah Parsons? You probably just go back to being very good, but they're still good enough. They could win this division, but you got to win Saturday night. And I think it's just a lot of pressure, not only just in terms of the math of the division race and falling too far behind if you lose this game, but just the perception of the Packers now. And I think everybody is kind of on board with this, that the Packers are not a Super Bowl contender anymore without Micah Parsons. But why not? If they win on Saturday night and they look good doing it, we could say, the rest of the NFC is not unbeatable. Why not the Packers still? So I think it's a huge game for them. I think it's a massive game for them. And the other side, too, because it's a proving ground for the Bears, who don't seem to be getting their respect. And I've been one of those people disrespecting the Bears, so I join myself in that chorus. But I think if you ask me what team is under kind of the most pressure to really show, hey, here's who we are, we're not going anywhere, it's the Packers. It is I think how the Packers look on Saturday night kind of sets the template for them for the rest of the season. Whether we consider them just hey, good for you to make the wild card, and you're going to get beat on wild card weekend and one and done, or hey, let's not overreact to the Micah Parsons injury. This is still a really good team that can compete for a Super Bowl. I think we're going to find out that answer on Saturday night.
Frank, appreciate the time. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, a Happy New Year, and hopefully look forward to talking to you again in the new year when there's some playoff football going on. Thanks again, Frank.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Frank Schwab, who covers the NFL for Yahoo Sports, joining us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. Fun conversation about the NFL. This is a fun weekend in the National Football League, Frank. I mean, there's some big games. He lays it out in his Week 16 article. I mean, you got the Rams and Seahawks tomorrow is a hell of a football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you seen the helmets that
Seattle helmets.
Oh my goodness, they're gorgeous. They're like a pearlescent, blue to green, teal. It's so nice. But yeah, you're starting to get down to crunch time now in the NFL season, and even I must admit, as someone who hates the NFL, I'm very much into what is going on over these next 3 weeks.
Rams and Seahawks for the division race, and the number 1 seed in the NFC is on Thursday. Bucks and Panthers is for the division, basically in the NFC South. Other games, Jags and Broncos have big seeding implications for the AFC playoffs, and Patriots and Ravens. I mean, the Ravens are trying to play to keep pace with the Steelers to force that last game of the year in a winner-take-all game to go to the postseason. And they can't have too many slip-ups against New England.
And the Pats are trying not to fall into a tie with Buffalo.
Correct.
So
they want to get that first-round home game as well. So, as Frank said, Frank Schwab, 14 teams are probably picked. The seeds are all up for grabs, and you got a lot of big games coming up in the next couple of weeks of the NFL. What's going on in baseball? Latest news when we come back. Remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97throughthefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Can you please repeat what you just said off air? I need to know who would buy this.
So, for those of you who don't know,
hey, if you're looking for Christmas presents, Hanukkah, holidays, whatever it may be, maybe you like giving New Year's gifts. I don't know. Can I interest you in what Frank has to sell?
I am a wrestling fan. For those of you who don't know,
in fact, what did you say yesterday on air about wrestling? You said I probably know wrestling more than most people.
Did I say that?
You did say that. You did. You did say that yesterday. So
Frank
is probably one of the biggest.
I'm asking you not to do a bit right now because I genuinely do not know if I said that.
You did.
Okay.
You did say that yesterday. Frank is a diehard wrestling fan. He picked Survivor Series over San Diego FC. I mean, he's into it.
Yeah.
He's into the wrestling. He likes the wrestling, but of this caliber. I don't know if he likes watching like actual wrestling, but you know what? I digress on that. So Frank is a super fan. This might be catered to Frank. You know, if you want to buy Frank something for Christmas, it might be up his alley. This is what Frank is selling.
No, I'm not selling this. I just found this on Twitter. If anyone, for those of you who don't know, John Cena had his last match in Washington, D.C. on Saturday night.
This is really rough for kids that grew up in the mid-2000s this last weekend. Phillip Rivers was playing football in the NFL. John Cena, last match, whatever it may be.
I watched it at the end.
Did you cry?
I did, yes.
He cried. That's how emotionally invested he is in this.
And not even being all that much of a John Cena fan either.
No.
But still a special moment.
Nobody saw him there, though.
If anyone is interested, on sale right now is a Ziploc bag.
Ziplocked. It's not even like in a jar.
Nope.
It's Ziploc.
It is a Ziploc bag.
Oh, my God, dude.
Of crisp air from John Cena's last match at WWE Saturday night's main event. If you are dumb enough to fall for this, you are also dumb enough to pay the asking price, which is $1,708. $1,700 for a bag of air that you cannot verify where it came from.
Amazing.
I could say from experience, at Survivor Series, wrestling fans are a special breed of people. We are. There are fans like me who watch and like to listen to the old stories that people like Bruce Pritchard and Jim Cornette give on their podcast. And then there are people like I saw at Petco Park who like to go dressed as their favorite wrestler, hand tape and everything. I am not in the I'm going to pay $1,700 for a bag of air category. I could say that conclusively.
I'm not going to do that either. You know what StreamYard allows you to do now?
I just saw that, the vertical thing, which threw me off.
You could do landscape and vertical. Do both. That's great. That's great news. You know, you can watch on your phone.
At least
or it makes it even better for like what's it called? It makes it even better for editing later.
Brother,
like for Instagram reels and stuff.
Brother, this is just more confirmation that you do not listen to a word I say.
Why? What did you say this?
No, it's just like I'm giving my whole synopsis.
No, I was listening to all the Cena
and
stuff.
Then you immediately come in with the full Doug. Squirrel. with the vertical and yeah.
Oh, what is that?
That's
now we're distracted by
that's just straight me. That's
interesting.
How about
the problem with the
how about I work on the
you're gonna have to fix the vertical
side.
thing because it's just our mouth that's kind of odd.
How about I work on the graphic side and you work on the talking side?
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
With visual effects. I mean, this is now I'm distracted by the vertical version of this. That makes it complicated. Yeah, look at that. It's just not.
Or you can just.
It's not great.
You just get rid of it.
I think there's probably a different. There's probably a different version of the vertical that you can like mess with.
There is, because when you create the stream, there's a way you can set it up to where it goes out as landscape or it goes.
I know.
Out
Yeah. I used to do that when I was doing.
Well, no. Now
my
you
podcast.
Yeah. Well, now you have to like select it in the thing. So.
There's got to be a vertical version of the thing to like be able to edit the images on that. I wonder if you could. Oh, look at that! You could do it right now. Amazing with StreamYard. All right, well that's all jacked up now.
Squirrel.
I can just go back and fix that. And while we're doing that on the orientation thing,
this is called "There's Not Enough Baseball News Going On," and we need to fill a 12-minute.
Well,
segment.
yeah. Well, I wanted to. The John Cena stuff was crazy. What did you say? $700 or $1,700?
It was $1,708.
That's ridiculous.
$1,708. The match was god awful. It was atrocious. The crowd behind it, though, and the emotional ride that it took you on, and again, knowing wrestling as I do, the finish that happened was more or less the finish that I expected. But yeah, the atmosphere made the match great. The match stunk. The first two if you go back and watch Saturday night's main event, of course, watch that match, but the two best matches of the night were the first two.
Is there anything like that, like gift-wise, that you would totally want to buy?
No.
Like, sometimes people buy the dirt on the field of the World Series championship where your team won their first World Series.
That depends.
Even then, do you even believe like it's authenticated? Like, does anybody care?
My uncle has 2 seats from Shea Stadium.
I think that's different.
That is different.
That's slightly different. Because the Qualcomm, you could have bought Qualcomm seats. Here's what they messed up with the Qualcomm seats. They should have let you buy the exact seats in certain areas, but they just started tearing it up and just started selling the seats. They didn't know where it was from.
It would have been nice to, like, see with Shea, it was interesting because each level was a different color, so you knew
knew what section at least.
Yeah, if you got orange seats, you knew they were from the lower level. But yeah, I mean, it's also nice, like if you're a season ticket holder, like to get your seats. That's also cool.
Right. If you were a longtime season ticket holder and before the stadium got shut down, to just buy those particular seats. I know somebody that kind of did that, and they had to pretend they had to get like the right seat number just to pretend they were, but they definitely were not the seats from because they only sold seats from a certain area. There's a couple around Snapdragon, which is cool, but bad fan. When the Chargers went to the Super Bowl and they did the rally at Qualcomm, which I heard was like the biggest, craziest event ever at Qualcomm. And it wasn't even for a game. It was just like to celebrate the Chargers coming back after they beat the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Bad fan says he ripped up a clump of the turf. You still have the turf?
Nice.
They smell like Budweiser and meatloaf. Oh, man. I heard that rally was like the coolest thing. I mean, to me, like, as a diehard San Diego fan, I grew up during like I was born in the middle of all the fun of the 90s, where the Chargers went to the Super Bowl and the Padres went to the World Series and Qualcomm and like that to me is like, maybe to me it's the heyday of pro sports in San Diego, but like the 90s, I feel like the 90s was probably the best era of like San Diego collective sports. Like right now is probably it's definitely the best era of Padres baseball.
Oh yeah.
But to sit there and like, I always think about like what it would be like with this current Chargers team.
Oh,
being
God.
being in town right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you imagine? Like, let's just say they would have built that stadium in Mission Valley. I mean, they never would have built that stadium downtown. There's too much red tape. But could you imagine in an alternate universe, you had the Padres playing at Petco and just at Tailgate Park or at the bus depot where they're going to build where they were going to build the Charger Stadium, which was never going to get passed.
Exactly.
You had Justin Herbert wearing the powder blues for the San Diego Chargers.
I would have been kicked out of the media pool by now. Because
Why?
the only question I would have asked is, Justin, why did you cut your hair? It was perfect. Like it was pristine. You don't cut that. Like what made you ruin your entire aura? Why did you do it?
I don't know. Probably his girlfriend that's more famous than he is.
And after about the 5th time of asking him that, I probably would have gotten kicked out of the press pool. No, he cut that long before.
Oh, he did?
Her. Yeah. Like he cut that right after the draft. I'm like,
what's
no,
that girl's name again?
Part.
That I totally forget.
Madison Beer or something.
Madison,
like that?
Yeah, I think that's her name. Adam sent us something the other day on social media.
I saw that.
guy asked Madison Beer to take a photo of him and Justin Herbert. He's like, I didn't even realize. I asked this girl to take a photo of us. I didn't realize that she was more famous than he was. But I'm telling you, like, I thought that, like, as I look back and I didn't get to enjoy it. You go back and watch some of the videos, but. You know, like 90s, the Chargers were a lot better in the mid 2000s, more like the 2010s when they had Phillip Rivers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But at a time where the Padres were, you know, into the World Series and the Chargers had just, you know, made it to a Super Bowl, it's like that era would have been fun to live through. I mean, Go Aztecs in the chat's talking about how, you know, a neighbor rounded up all the kids in the neighborhood then drove them down to Qualcomm to experience that rally. I mean, some cool stuff. Yeah. Stuff that we don't get to enjoy now with, you know, them not being here. The stuff that they've taken away. I mean, could you imagine? Like, our coverage would be fun. Every Sunday.
Could you imagine?
I'd be having a blast. We had season tickets for them. My great grandmother had season tickets for every sports team in town. She used to work at the Union Tribune.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think she worked at the front desk. Like Bill Center, knew who she was.
Huh.
And she had season tickets to every sports team in town. She had season tickets to the Chargers. She had season tickets to the Padres. She had season tickets to the Goals and the Sockers and both NBA teams that were here. She had season tickets to all of it. She ended up getting rid of all of them, you know, throughout the remainder of her life. And then we kept the Charger ones forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. It was like Plaza 31, if I'm not mistaken, on the Chargers side. It looked right down the goal line, and the people around us was great. All the people were super nice. It were just the season ticket families, and I remember going to games as a kid. It was so much fun. We used to park. Now it's funny, my brother just moved into the Serra Mesa area over here, over by where we would go park in people's yards for $20.
Cool. Yeah,
and you'd walk down that hill. What is that, Murphy Canyon?
Yeah.
Whatever. I think it's Murphy Canyon Road or something like that. You would walk down that hill to the Charger game. That was as a kid. For an NFL Sunday, a 1:00 game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember parking with my dad walking, and you'd be walking down the hill, and then you would see the stadium appear. And you would see the parking lot just filled with cars.
Mm-hmm.
And you would smell all the barbecues and the aroma and just the excitement of an NFL Sunday going to Qualcomm Stadium.
And that's something that for older sports fans, you would know these new stadiums are really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. They're beautiful. But going into a ballpark and going through the tunnel and just slowly watching the playing field appear in front of you, that is a magical moment, especially for a kid.
The floor is sticky.
Yes.
They had the little floor that was
Mm-hmm.
to keep people from slipping. It smelled like stale beer.
Yep.
I remember walking around the plaza, which was so much fun as a kid. It smelled like peanuts and hot dogs, and then the stale beer smell I still love to this day when I walk into older stadiums. The only time I get that kind of nostalgia again is Angel Stadium, because Angel Stadium is
still old,
still old and run down and stuff like that.
Hockey arenas are, of course, good for that. When I went to Phoenix Raceway in April, I believe it was either in March or April, that I got that feeling there as well. And honestly, walking out the tunnel, which is why I took the video of it for our Twitter page, walking out of the tunnel at M&T Bank Stadium, to get onto the field also gave you that.
I
that
remember
feeling, too.
parking and tailgating, throwing the football around. Tailgating for me was more at the Aztec games because my parents used to tailgate at the Aztec games with their my dad would do it with his high school buddies, ended up being his college buddies. Mission Village Road is the name of that road you walk down. But I the memories I have of Qualcomm are that, like walking down the hill, and go Aztecs, put in the chat right. I walking up that hill after a loss was awful. I remember the play. I was at the Chargers Ravens game when, and I've said this on air before, like the week before they beat the Raiders in Oakland on a 4th down draw to Darren Sproles. He ripped off a 20-yard run for a touchdown or whatever it was, and they walked it off, I think, against the Raiders. They won the week before. Norv Turner tried to run the same play again against Baltimore at home, and Ray Lewis was all over it. And he stuffs Darren Sproles in the backfield. And I remember everybody complaining and bitching about, I can't believe you're Norv Turner side. It's like, the play worked last week. Like, it was wide open last week. You didn't mind saying how great the play was last week. Ray Lewis makes a great play. I remember walking up the hill that day. It was like, oh, this is miserable. But a couple other things, like I remember
there was one variable that Norv did not account for, and it was Ray freaking Lewis.
Ray Lewis. It's the film study. I remember walking the tunnels of Qualcomm on the plaza were great. The spirals up and down, which was fun as a kid. I have more memories of going to Charger and Aztec games there than Padre games because at that point they had moved to Petco in 2004, whatever it is, 2004, 2005. I do remember going to a couple Padre games there with the palm trees out there, which was fun. That was back when the Jerome's best seat in the house was out in left field on a little cutout, and they had the seats out there. But the other things with Qualcomm that was like the down below at the field level. When you go down the stairs and walk around,
there was like a metal walkway, was there not?
No, there was. You would go down you would go underground.
Yeah,
you would go down, and it was like a tunnel, and then you'd have to come through the metal bleachers that were the field level for Charger games.
Because I remember that for the first event we went to out here when we moved out here in 2006 was when we got out here was Monster Jam at Qualcomm Stadium. That was the very first, and I only went to 2 football games there. I went to one San Diego State game. San Diego State destroyed Hawaii. It's like 55 to something. And the Chargers Giants game, Eli Manning's first game out here after the draft. So
that, and the other thing too, it's like I remember playing there and going to high school football championships there because the coolest part of, and I know we got to take a break. My dad being a high school football coach when you're a kid, it was like the coolest thing. And he was at Saints a couple of years where they went and played Marian Catholic in the stadium. And back then you would have all 4. There was like 4 divisions. There was only 4 divisions, and you would all play at Qualcomm. And it was like Division 4 would play at 10 in the morning. Division 3 would play at 1 o'clock. Division 2 would play at 4:30 or whatever, and Division 1 would play at like 7. And we always got, it was based on enrollment. My dad was at Saints at the time, and they always had the D3 that we were always in D3, and it was always fun. Like all roads lead to the stadium. In fact, at Cathedral, we still have that plaque in our weight room. All roads lead to the stadium, like for Qualcomm, because that was like the ultimate goal for kids was like I get to play where the pros play, and all the adults always wanted to get rid of it. It was like, oh, nobody goes to the games; it's so empty. The kids love playing where Randy Moss caught a touchdown, right? Like they didn't really
who cares
give a what about how many fans were there. And I remember when they made it twice, so it back-to-back years against Marion when Marion had P.T. Gates and was just an unbelievable player. Getting pulled out of school at St. Michael's to go to the football game because the game was at 1 o'clock and going to Qualcomm. And then, being on the field after with my dad was like the coolest thing. And then I got to do it my junior year. We played Olympian in the championship game. And it was like the locker rooms were awful. So run down, terrible. The field playing surface was awful. It was all tore up because they had the Aztecs there and the Chargers there. Were playing on a Tuesday, whatever it was. But everything about the game was just so much fun being at Qualcomm. The next year they didn't have it at Qualcomm. And then the following year, I think was the last year they had it at Qualcomm. And I went back as already graduated high school. And I was there for Thanksgiving break, and I was able to stay an extra day and go to the game. Got to watch the game on the sideline. It was the coolest thing ever. So a lot of those fun memories that we've talked about with the nostalgia of Qualcomm Stadium, all spurred from like, would you buy any memorabilia?
Yeah, would you buy a bag of air?
A bag of air. Love to hear your stories about the Q. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We've done it a lot, we've done it enough. But when we come back, everything that you need to know about the latest rumors about Major League Baseball, trades, free agency, some teams making some moves. What's the latest? Frank will tell us when we come back. 11:26 on a Wednesday. With everybody being off next week, like I feel like it's like a Christmas break.
I know. Right?
Winter break, holiday break, whatever it may be for the schools. It just we're on like the same schedule as most of them too. What if that was planned out with the hosts that have kids? Maybe. Who knows? 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. This hour is brought to you by the California Office of Traffic Safety. In 2023, 1,355 people were killed in alcohol-related crashes throughout California. Driving under the influence of anything is dangerous, illegal, and has serious consequences. Don't be the I in DUI. Go safely, California. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Went down a little bit of memory lane in the last segment due to a item for sale that I would never buy. You know, I didn't buy any of the Qualcomm stuff either. So, because every time I see some of the sports memorabilia stuff, you know what I immediately say? Where am I going to put this?
Exactly.
And if I don't have an answer for that, there's no reason to buy it.
Yep.
Emotionally, you would love to buy it, but at
Yep.
the same time, you're like, where am I putting this?
Yep.
Oh, maybe I'll put it in a at-home studio that I can make. When am I ever going to do that? Otherwise, I'm just collecting a bunch of stuff and putting in storage. I'm waiting for that one day I can make a home studio or something like that for recordings and a backdrop. I'm not going to bring it in here, tell you that.
Memories of the Q brought on by a bag of air.
By a bag of air. Yep. That's where we're at with that. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on in Major League Baseball, shall we?
Let's do that. All righty. So first, before we get to the rumors, let's go to something that is not a rumor, and that is a signing. This is from David Adler and Anthony DiComo on MLB.com. The New York Mets are adding another high-leverage arm to their bullpen, and it's another familiar face to New Yorkers. The team on Wednesday agreed to terms on a 2-year, $22 million deal with right-handed reliever Luke Weaver. Weaver, who spent time setting up Devin Williams and also closing in the Bronx last season, will reunite with his old teammate in Queens. The club has not confirmed the deal, which is pending a physical. Over the last 2 seasons, Weaver established himself as a solid late-innings reliever for the Yankees after spending most of his career as a starter. That made him one of the top relievers on the free agent market this season. So the Yankee bullpen that was so atrocious that Brian Cashman had to trade for 3 high leverage arms at the end of last season is now going to Queens because it's apparently good enough for them.
How do you feel about that?
It's whatever. It's bullpen pieces are so interchangeable. Like I said, the Padres always, that was the one thing I was always envious about the Padres is that their bullpen, regardless of what name was in there, was always good. And the Mets have never been able to figure that out. And as long as they're not blowing every single game, whatever is what it is.
All right. That's how we feel about that, as he is a Mets fan. Again, I kind of feel the same way. It's a good bullpen. You can never have, too many bullpen arms, right?
Yeah.
So they go and get Luke Weaver. What else is out there? I saw a couple other things involving some National League clubs as well.
Yes, there are. A new contender has emerged in the sweepstakes for third baseman Alex Bregman, one of the top free agents on the market. The Diamondbacks have expressed interest in Alex Bregman, according to a report by MLB Network insider John Heyman on Tuesday. The incumbent Red Sox and the Cubs have been the teams most strongly linked to Bregman so far this offseason, but Arizona has a vacancy at third base as the three-time All-Star could fill. Bregman is said to be Boston's number 1 target, while Chicago reportedly had a video meeting with Bregman earlier in the offseason. If Arizona's interest is serious, it remains to be seen how a potential trade involving the Diamondbacks' second baseman Ketel Marte could impact things. The Red Sox are one of the several suitors for Marte, so if Bregman does not sign with Arizona, the 2-star infielders could be swapping sides for 2026 from 2025 to 2026.
That's interesting on both sides. Like the Diamondbacks just go out there and sign Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
But that second part that you mentioned, it makes it sound like even if the Red Sox sign Bregman, could they potentially trade him for Marte?
I think what they're saying is, I think with the I saw the report on MLB Network a second ago. It sounds like if Arizona is going to get Alex Bregman, they are going to be more inclined to trade, or at least have to trade
For payroll purposes.
Ketel Marte
Right.
at that point. And they're saying that one of those trade partners could be Boston. So Arizona signs Bregman and then trades Ketel Marte to Boston. That could be a thing that happens. In that, at least that's how I read it.
All right, so Diamondbacks want Bregman. If they sign Bregman, they got to get rid of Marte. Red Sox are interested in Marte anyway.
Yes.
So there could be almost like a pseudo trade between the two clubs in a sense, right?
Yeah, more or less.
They're just flopping the two. Interesting, to say the least. I that's going to be like Alex Bregman for the Diamondbacks would be a big pickup for the Diamondbacks, especially since they're going to spend the money. Like Marte's hurt all the time. Bregman is not. Bregman's up there in years, but not as many years as Marte. So it's you flip Marte for Alex Bregman. The Diamondbacks, I think, get slightly better, but not a lot better. Like if they had Bregman and Marte, you'd be a little concerned about the Arizona Diamondbacks. But they basically flipped to a younger version and a better version of Ketel Marte.
Yeah, swapping stars eventually. The A's saw plenty of offensive standouts in 2025, but their collective group of second basemen struggled with an MLB worst .550 OPS. As such, the club is looking to improve the position via free agency or trade. According to the Athletics' Ken Rosenthal, the A's reportedly offered a 4-year, $48 million deal to Ha-Sung Kim to come and play second base before he ultimately returned to Atlanta on a 1-year, $20 million deal. Additionally, Rosenthal reports that Tampa Bay's Brandon Lau and New York Mets' Jeff McNeil are potential options that the A's can turn to. So Oaklamento looking to get a middle infielder to pair with Jack Wilson.
Don't mind it. Not a bad idea. I mean, the A's now are going to start spending money, right?
Yeah.
They're going to start spending money because they got a new stadium coming in Vegas. They got to show Vegas that they are willing to play and all this other stuff. So not a huge surprise right there.
All right. I think we can go to break on that one. There wasn't really much.
Nothing more after that?
No, nothing really.
We kind of made fun of Jim Bowden yesterday. But you know what? I think we have to make an appeal or a referendum to our rules of gatekeeping fandom. I gatekeep fandom for sure. I think you have to give me a justified reason to root for the teams that you root for. Otherwise, I'll declare you a bandwagoner. There might be a loophole in this that even though Jim Bowden was wrong in what he said, there is something that I think should be looked at. And we might make a change to our constitution that is what it takes to be a fan before being ruled a bandwagoner. We'll explain next on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station, 97 through the Fan. All right. We got to get to our sports thread here in a second. And we're going to get to the sports thread in a second. I do want to bring up yesterday with Jim Bowden, right? So we played the clip yesterday of Jim Bowden talking about, well, Pirates fans, you should just become Dodger fans if your team is not winning. I am the gatekeeper of fandom. I'm going to tell you that right now. I am the gatekeeper of fandom, okay? I don't really care. It upsets a lot of people. Don't tell me how to fan. I'm going to tell you how to fan, and I don't really care. I'm going to tell you how to fan. I think there's certain rules for fandom, Frank. We've been over these rules. I think you got to root for teams that are in the city you're from. I think that's, rule number one. I added other rules too. I think any type of team that your parents grew up watching, that are fans of, and you are growing up watching said teams, I feel like it's fine. You can root for those teams. I think any particular school that your family has attended or played at, you could be a fan of. Those are kind of the three main rules. And the other thing that I've put in there is if you have picked a team to root for, okay, you have no connection to them, but you really like them. You are a bandwagoner until you reach 20 years of fandom. And then you're locked in enough without switching sides. You got to show that you can't switch sides. I find all those rules to be relatively fair.
Let me ask you something. We may have gone over this when we broke it down a couple months ago. Can you really be considered a bandwagoner if you're from like Montana and you pick some like the Pirates to be a fan of?
Oh, we put that in there too. If you're from an area that does not have that sports team, Montana doesn't have any sports teams aside from like the you can root for like your colleges that are in town and stuff like that too. But the ones that don't have pro sports teams, and you like the pro sport, I think you could pick a team, but whatever you pick, you got to stick with the rest. The rest of time. Right,
but I'm saying like you could be a Dodger fan, and that would be the 20-year bandwagon thing. But like what incentive do you have to pick the Marlins as your favorite team? Like if you're just straight up picking a team like that,
I think you should try to pick one
I
of
don't
the
think you need to do
teams.
the 20-year. Oh, I'm just saying, like picking a bad team. Like I don't think you need to do the
if you don't have it, if you
thing.
don't have a team in town, then you can pick whoever you want. There's no limit. There's no bandwagon era.
Okay.
So you can pick whoever you want. Like if you live in Montana, they don't have a team.
Yeah, I know they've won 2 World Series, Augie. I'm using them as an example because they're a bad team, and no one has any reason to root for the Marlins right now. People in Miami don't have reason to root for the Marlins right now.
Like I wanted to get into hockey, and so I picked the Ducks to be my hockey team because it's like the closest team. Fair. But I also hate LA, so I thought it was justified enough. So Anaheim, who also hates LA, is not very far. Plus, they had the goals here in town, so I had to pick a team. And the NBA, I don't have an NBA team. I think since we don't have an NBA team, at least during my lifetime, I could pick another NBA team, or somebody else can. Right? I have not done that, so I'm still open on the NBA front. In particular. But for San Diegans, if they wanted to pick an NBA team, go for it. Yeah. A lot of San Diegans like the Lakers. You know what? Fair enough. They don't have a team here. You want to root for LA team? At least it's a little bit different than like the Lakers. It's like the Lakers were here and they moved. So those are my rules.
There's some interesting news on the NBA coming up in the sports thread.
Those are my rules. Jim Bowden has made me think about this a little bit. And I have to add a referendum.
Amendment.
That's what it is. Amendment. What amendment would this be? The 5th Amendment of the Constitution that is the rules of fandom?
Like I said,
how many rules do we have?
Like I said, we got to write it. We got to write it out. Like there's going to be a book at some point.
Well, it's our Constitution of being a fan.
Yes.
We run the Constitution of being a fan. So rule number 1 was got to be from your city. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's rule number 1. Number 2, whatever your parents grew up with. Number 3, all schools that you have attended or schools that your family has attended. Rule 4, Amendment 4, if your city or place that you have been born in or grew up in does not have said team of league, you can pick no ramifications. That's like the same thing with like European soccer. There's a lot of people like European soccer need a team. All right,
and for 2 and 3, just to say, you don't have to be a fan of those teams. It's just it's acceptable to be a fan of those teams if they're like
those are the
out of
rules.
state. Yeah,
those are the rules. All right, so those are the 4, and then those are the four amendments to the fandom rules. We're going to add a 5th amendment. We'll have a 5th amendment. And you know what? I don't know if I had this amendment in there or not before because the Chargers moving, but we're going to add a 5th amendment, and we're going to do that at noon because we got to get to today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what do we got today?
really quick, we'll get this one out of the way because it's kind of sad and it's short.
Number 1.
With everything that happened at Brown University over the course of the last couple of days, USC and Brown's men's basketball teams have mutually agreed to cancel their non-conference game that was scheduled to be played on Sunday in LA. The decision comes after the incident that happened on campus on Saturday, in which 2 students were killed and 9 were wounded on the campus at Brown University. USC released a statement saying the entire USC community sends its support to Brown following the tragedy that has impacted the students, staff, alumni, and the city of Providence. Brown's next game is not scheduled until New Year's Eve. The Trojans will have to rescheduling a different opponent on Sunday in the Gallon Center. More information will be released soon.
The Galen Center.
More information will be released soon. So that game is just coming straight off of Brown's schedule. And USC is going to replace.
They're playing the Banana Slugs. The D2 team, UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs.
Okay, so that's who they replaced it by. So
good on all fronts for canceling that game. You know, USC obviously needs to find a new game, so they go and find the UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs. They'll play them at the Galen Center. And, thoughts to everybody involved over at Brown University as they try to investigate and figure out what happened.
100%. Absolutely.
Number 2.
This is what I meant when I said there's interesting news going around the NBA. For the first time, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver laid out a definitive timeline for domestic expansion, saying the decision will be made on whether or not to proceed sometime in 2026. I'd say in terms of domestic expansion, that is something we're continuing to look at, Silver said at the news conference before the NBA Cup final between the Knicks and Spurs last night. It's no secret. We're looking into this market in Las Vegas. We're looking into Seattle. We've looked into other markets as well. I'd say I want to be sensitive there about this notion that we're somehow teasing these markets because I know we've been talking about it for a while. So it sounds like NBA expansion and the ruling on whether or not there will be an expansion team coming to the NBA will be made next year. So interesting.
It'd be nice to get an expansion team down here. It's going to be highly unlikely, obviously, with the Clippers and the Lakers just north of us.
But
that's something you need to build. That's why you need the facilities so you can be part of these conversations.
Yep, exactly. And even then, I mean, I don't think, especially for the West Coast, you're not going to outbid Seattle, which has a brand new building for the Kraken. You're not going to outbid Vegas, who has a brand new building for the Golden Knights that are going to be up and ready to go. So that's going to be a tough fight, especially in the Western Conference.
Number 3.
You know what solves all those problems? Money.
True.
They don't care about that stuff when it comes to money and making money.
Former Alabama football coach and current ESPN college football analyst Nick Saban has purchased a minority stake in the NHL's Nashville Predators. Predators chairman and majority owner Bill Haslam announced on Tuesday the purchase made by Dream Sports Ventures LLC, an entity controlled by Saban and business partner Joe Agresti. Saban and Agresti are partners in the Dream Motor Group that features 10 car dealerships, including 2 in Nashville. They are partners in several other business ventures as well. Saban stepped down as Alabama's coach after the 2023 season. It was very, very interesting to me to see Nick Saban buying a hockey team, or at least buying into a hockey team.
All of these coaches and players are making so much money they can now buy into all these teams.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, it's an investment, right? You're investing into something that when you sell the shares, it's going to go up in value. That's all this is. It's an investment. It's a fun investment. You get to be part of an organization. You get to be part of a team. I don't know what he knows about hockey, Nick Saban, but you know what? He now could say he's part owner of the Nashville Predators. He can go to games. He can sit in the suites. He can help make decisions. They can use him in a lot of different entities and capacities. And in about 5 to 10 years when he sells, he's going to make a fortune.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. It's an investment.
Yep.
Investing in sports teams, very lucrative.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see that pop up on my timeline yesterday, that famed college football coach purchases NHL team.
Number 4.
There we go. The Miami Dolphins have decided to bench quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and instead are turning to rookie Quinn Ewers as their starter, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Wednesday. Ewers' first start will come Sunday against Cincinnati. Ewers served as the team's backup quarterback for its Week 7 loss against the Browns and briefly entered the game, but has otherwise been the Dolphins' emergency backup. Ewers was only promoted to start for the Bengals game, was only promised the start for the Bengals game, sources told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, although the expectation is that he will start for more than one game. So it sounds like he's guaranteed this week. After that is a wait and see. Basically, the Dolphins throwing a white flag on the season.
The season's over.
Yeah.
They needed a win on Monday to advance and stay alive in the playoffs. They were going to make the playoffs either. I thought it was a valiant effort to kind of turn things around a little bit for the Miami Dolphins, but there's no reason to play Tua if he's your franchise quarterback and quarterback of the future. Same thing with if the Chiefs, if Patrick Mahomes didn't blow out his ACL, he probably wouldn't be playing anymore either. There's no reason for him to play. Might as well keep Tua safe as much as possible, get him ready for next season. And then see what you got out of Quinn Ewers. Either he can push Tua for a starting spot next year, or he can be a trade asset, or, there's a lot of things you can get out of Quinn Ewers playing if he goes out there and balls out. If not, who cares? You're ready to move on to the next year anyway.
And going from emergency quarterback to now starter is an interesting jump. But again, this happens this time of year.
That's a look at the sports thread. We're going to make the amendment when we come back in the noon hour to the sports list, our sports fandom constitution. Some amendments that need to be made after the Jim Bowden conversation. We'll talk about that next on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station, 97 to the Fan.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Noon lunchtime hour on 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan was not sponsored by anything. It could be sponsored by you. Hey, maybe the new year.
Well, it is sponsored.
It is?
Yes. It is sponsored by the fine folks at the why?
I'm telling you, it's not sponsored by anybody.
No, it's
not on the sheet. Not on the sheet.
I don't remember names. That's a problem.
It's not on the sheet.
It's
not sponsored by anybody.
The law firm. The line is at least.
No, the guests on the Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro
Thank
Fan
you.
Hotline.
That's who
That's
it
not
was.
who sponsors the hour. They sponsor the phone calls.
He draws the foul.
Yeah, foul on Frank.
I'll just eat that right away.
Yep. Hand up. Accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That's on you.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Cole Brooks, sponsored by the people.
We're sponsored by you, the fine folks in San Diego.
We talk about food later. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the amendments we're making to the Constitution. That is the get it together, Frank.
I'm such a dope.
Jose is on your ass.
I'm such an idiot. I forgot.
Get it together. You know what? I know I passed the rock to Frank yesterday for him to. He's gonna have to kick it back to me. Let me run point a little bit.
I forgot just how stupid I am.
Okay, let's not get carried away here. All right, we're making amendments now. Okay, so here's the deal. I am the gatekeeper of sports fandom.
Yes.
I'm the gatekeeper, you're the keymaster. Anybody? Ghostbusters? Anybody? Do you like my impersonation of that?
That was very good.
Yeah, the gatekeeper, the keymaster. I am the gatekeeper. All right? I'm the gatekeeper of fandom. I don't really care if it upsets you. If you find out that you're a bandwagoner, tough S, you're a bandwagoner. I'm putting it down. I'm drawing the line in the sand. We have 5 amendments to this rules of fandom. Number 1, in order to be a fan, you must be from that city. That is number 1. Number 2, from the city, from the state, from the surrounding area, yada, 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 yada. Frank will put the legal talk into the Constitution. That is what it takes to be a fan. Number 2, Second Amendment. If your parents are fans of certain teams and you grew up watching that team, it counts. It's on there. It counts. That's amendment number 2 to being a fan of a sports team. Number 3, amendment number 3. Again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is more for the college level of things. Number 3 has to do with any college you attend, any college your parents attended or your family attended or played at. You could be a fan of said college or high school, whatever you want to do. Anything involves a school. That's amendment number 3. Amendment number 4. We determined amendment number 4 was if you're born in a place that does not have said sports teams or colleges and you want to be a fan of a team in said sport, amendment number 4 clearly states you are allowed to pick whatever team you want. It'd be better if it was following the criteria as laid out in Amendment 1, 2, and 3, but it doesn't have to be. If you're born in a place like Montana that doesn't have any professional sports and you want to watch the NFL, you can pick whatever you want with no ramifications. Amendment number 5. I lied before. We have already made this amendment, Frank. Amendment number 5. If you decide to jump on a bandwagon, you are cleared from being a bandwagoner if you go at least 20 years of fandom. I got to make sure you're committed to the bit. Some might say 10. I think 20. If we want to be a little bit of a happy, let's say 15, Frank, just to be nice. You know what? I'm feeling nice. It's the holiday season. Feeling a little in the giving way. 15 years. If you as a kid, as like a 4-year-old, was like, I'm going to go against my parents and I'm going to pick the Bears to be my favorite team. You know what? By the time you turn 19, you are locked in, buddy.
All right. So I got number 1, city you live in. 2, family teams. 3, personal affiliation. 4, don't live in a state with pro sports.
Mm-hmm.
5, bandwagon probation period.
Yes.
And now number 6.
Now what might be the 6th Amendment to said fandom. And again, you are going to be called a bandwagoner if you do not follow this criteria. I didn't say you couldn't root for the team. You could root for the team, but you have to understand you're going to be called a bandwagoner, Frank. If that upsets you, I'm sorry. These are the rules.
Well, now for me, let me ask you a question here. This is
Do we need to make more amendments? I mean, we're going to talk about what Jim Bowden had to say in a second.
This is going into question 3. As far rule 3, as far as personal affiliation. Would I be considered a Padre bandwagoner since I work in relation with the team?
Let's use a different context before people get on your throat here a second.
Well, no, I'm saying I am allowed to root. Am I or am I not allowed to root for the Padres because I work in relation with the team?
I think you can root for the Padres.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think
so. I fall under rule 3.
But you cannot root for them over your regular team.
No, I say that all the time.
You can support. I think you can support. I think you can support.
I say that all the time. Padre fans, you guys have me for all but 6 or 7 days out of the year. And
I
those
think
are the
that's
6
fair.
or 7 days that the Mets are here. The Mets are playing.
Now, here's the thing. Like, if I was working in Dallas for whatever reason, and I was covering the Rangers, I would support the Rangers, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would tell you right now, San Diegans would be upset if I completely threw away my San Diego fandom.
Yeah, so that falls under rule number 3 of personal affiliation.
How about this? We're going to get to another amendment here in a second. What if your girlfriend or boyfriend is a fan of a team? Are you allowed to root for that team without being a bandwagoner, yes or no? I think you can to an extent.
I would say that falls under family teams.
You are a bandwagoner.
Or personal affiliation.
You're a bandwagoner unless it's locked in relationship-wise in terms of like a ring or something.
Yeah, you can't
just be jumping on different girlfriend boyfriend stuff until you're committed.
You can't root for Florida worldwide.
I agree with
over
Augie.
TCU.
I agree with Augie here. Girlfriend, boyfriend, loose rooting, but not full fandom unless married. Yes.
Fair.
I
will.
That needs to be the amendment to rule number 3.
Yeah. So that'll. So we'll put that.
That needs to be another amendment.
That's under rule 3. So we've got 3A, which is working
spousal
for a team, and then B is spouse. Yeah.
But again, it should not overcome the fans of your own thing first.
Exactly.
Again. Gonzo's right, though. Would I ever change my Padres fandom for a girl? Absolutely not. Good thing.
That also
I don't date any Dodger fans. It's
that
great.
Also being said, you can't expect them to change their allegiances because of you. So that's another thing.
We do have some questions in here that we have to address. But here's the thing with Jim Bowden. Here's another amendment. What amendment number are we on? 6?
We're on 6 here.
All right. So as Jim Bowden said, okay? And here's the deal. Jim Bowden said, and this is the context, and he made it sound dumb, okay? And this is a dumb comment. The Pirates fans should give up their own fandom and go be Dodger fans since their team does not do anything. I think since they don't win, I think there's a fine line here. He said if your team is not winning. Now, the Padres have not won a World Series, but they are trying. They're spending money. They're active in free agency. They're active in trades. They're actively trying to win. So if your team is actively trying to win, yes, flipping teams to a team that's good, automatic bandwagoner. Now, are you writing that down?
Stupid pen. Stupid marker.
Okay. Don't let the marker win, Frank. He's letting the marker win.
That's why I threw it.
All right. So, if you're rooting for a team like he brought up Pittsburgh, if you're rooting for a team like Pittsburgh or Colorado in baseball as an example, and they're not trying to win.
Braden needs a new scribe. Thanks, Clay.
Foul on Clay. Foul on Clay.
Thank you, Clay.
Come on, Clay.
He draws the foul.
Clay needs to do
you know
NFL
what?
team.
That's surprise. Clay is such a nice man. That's a low blow on Clay right there. That is a underneath the belt.
People are getting too familiar is the problem.
Hey, apparently. Apparently. All right. So here's the amendment. If your team, and there's honestly two here because I think old Charger fans can get roped into this. If your team is not trying to win, like the Pirates, we're use the Pirates as an example, and you have given them everything you got, and they are not trying to win, you can, I think, jump off of the fandom and put them in a hiatus. Put them in suspension. I think you can suspend your fandom, but I don't think you can flip allegiances. You're stuck with what you got. You can suspend it. You can suspend it, but you cannot leave and come back. You can suspend and come back. If the Pirates decide that they want to spend money and win, as a Pirates fan, if you suspended your fandom, you could be like, all right, that's what I'm waiting for. Because sometimes you gotta speak with your wallet sometimes. You got to speak with your wallet. They won't listen until, if you got an ownership group that only cares about dollars and cents, you got to speak with your wallet. I understand that. You can suspend it if they're not trying. If they're trying and they still suck, they're trying. There's nothing more you can do about that. You're locked in. But if they're not even trying and they're giving you a big middle finger as a fan, you can suspend it and then come back when they decide to try. That's not being fair weather. Sometimes you got to dig your heels in, Frank. Sometimes you got to dig your heels in.
Oh, of course.
Jim Bowden might be up to something on that. His other comment makes him a dope, for sure. But this comment, it's different. Sometimes you got to speak with your wallet.
It's not being
fair
a fair weather fan.
It's not being fair weather. Now, that's amendment number 6.
No, being a fair weather fan is that you haven't put the money in, you haven't put the emotional time in, and you're just saying, I'm not really a fan of them anymore. That's being a fair weather fan. To sit there and say, listen, I've poured my heart, soul, money that I have, money that I don't have into this team, and saying, you know what, you're not trying, so I'm not trying anymore either. That's not a fair weather fan.
Amendment number, are we on 7?
Oh, there's more?
We have a couple of more.
Okay, 7.
We are ruling this together as a fan base of the Braden Surprenant show.
I would have wrote smaller.
Right on the back of it. Just going to be permanently on there. Amendment number 7. Now, here's one that's interesting. If your team leaves you high and dry, you now become a free agent to root for any team that you would like. It is just like amendment number, was that 4?
Yes.
It's just all of a sudden it turns into amendment number 4, where if your team leaves, it's the same, it resets, and it's like the same thing of being born in a place that doesn't have a team.
Right, so you become a free agent if your team relocates.
But again, you're a bandwagoner until you reach the threshold of being really locked in. That's where I'm at with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if your team relocates, you basically become a free agent.
I need like 2 more of these. Is there another one over there?
I think so.
So I could do the
3 more over here.
Give me 2 of them. I need
All right.
2
Well,
of them.
then talk while we.
Because this way I could do the This way I could do the History of the World Part 2 gimmick.
Here you go. I hold with you two commandments. Great.
All right, so now I got to get back.
All right. Okay. If your team relocates, you can become a free agent. And you are open. Here's the other amendment. You are open to return to your original team if they move back. Very unlikely, but I think you're allowed to do that. You can also continue your fandom with team that leaves. Now, here's another amendment that I think is interesting enough. If you are a fan of a team in a different city because your city does not have a team and your city gets a team, you have to pick between the two. You're not a bandwagoner of either. How about that, Frank?
Okay.
I think that's fair. Like, we don't have an NFL team. If an NFL team came to San Diego but was not the Chargers, you'd be able to root for said team.
Yes.
If you are a Lakers fan and San Diego gets an NBA team, you can root for your city's team. But you have to choose. You can't go back and forth. You have to pick one.
What was number 5 again? Number 5 was...
What was number 5? Okay, so we had you weren't writing these down?
I did, but I erased them because I thought you were done. City you live in, family ties, personal affiliation, no pro sports team. Oh, it was the probationary period.
Probationary period. If you picked a team. Like Nicky P likes Oregon. He's now liked Oregon for almost 20. We made it 15 years.
All right, so there's the probationary period.
Nice. And then number 6 was the Jim Bowden amendment.
Right, okay.
Which was if your team does not try to win for a long period of time, you could put them in timeout. Suspension. And then we have relocation amendment. And then we have amendment of if it's amendment of the pick team one. Was that amendment 4?
Yeah.
A caveat to that is if you pick the team and now your city has said team, you can now root for said city's team. So there's a lot of questions in there as well. But that's my constitution of what it takes to be a fan without being called a bandwagoner.
Team and city.
I disagree with the Osiders. Once your team leaves, there's no such thing as rivals anymore. You're not affiliated with anything. So if you were a Chargers fan and they left and you decided to root for the Raiders now, which was kind of a tough choice on your part because they suck, that's fair game. That's fair game. Patrick had one. I got one. What if I was an LAFC fan because my kid was playing soccer at the time? They became an expansion team, and now San Diego. You can jump ship.
That falls on. Yeah, that falls under new team and city.
I think we have all the amendments that we need. I've been a faithful fan of 42 years of the Oakland, Los Angeles, Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders, but I put them on hiatus and now root for my fantasy football team. That's fine. You know what? They're not trying to win. They're lousy in terms of their organization. You want to boycott the organization, Carlos? By all means, you can. But you cannot pick another team.
I have this list of 15 10 commandments to be a pro sports fan without drawing the ire of the podcast.
Oh, my God. That actually worked perfectly. That was hilarious. The constitution of being a fan. That is amazing. Those are the rules. If you have questions of whether or not you're a bandwagoner, we will rule on it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says, you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at Kohl's and Kohls.com. Select styles, offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Unlike Mr. Pibb, in a classroom of sodas, most stay quiet. We take notes on sweetness. They whisper about bubbles. One in the front row keeps bragging about its doctorate. Then there's Mr. Pibb in the back. Feet on the desk, sweet cherry for a second, then a bold outburst. The kind of flavor that gets attention. Some sodas raise their hand. Mr. Pibb runs the room.
Bull kick 'em cherry. And yo, Mr. Pibb.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Ever seen an origami version of the kissing statue? Jokes aside, Verizon has the most ways to save on phones and plans where everyone in the family can choose their own plan and save. So bring in your bill to your local San Diego Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on root metric true score per data 1H 2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person getting the deal. Additional terms apply.
Hey, it's Gravy. I've been a member of Kaiser Permanente for 7 years now, and I've stuck with them because I love how easy it is to schedule a virtual appointment with a doctor. No driving, no waiting room. I don't even have to pick up my prescriptions because they are automatically mailed to me. Quality care from the comfort of my couch. That kind of convenience is a game changer. To learn about Kaiser Permanente health plans, visit kp.org/San Diego. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Deadlines shift. Plans change. Surprises happen. That's when Silverstrand truly delivers. From CCTV and access control to sound masking and fire alarms, we show up when it counts with sharp execution and zero panic. Big job or small, our experts are committed to you and ready to service San Diego, Riverside, Orange County, and nationwide. Feel the peace of mind in knowing that your project is in the hands of seasoned technology experts. Check out silverstrand.com. One more time, silverstrand.com. Silverstrand Technologies, your experts in technology.
Target's last-minute deals are here, right on time to get you holiday ready in no time. Snap beauty gift sets for every style, the hottest toys, can't miss entertainment, crowd-pleasing candy, and much more. All under $20. Whether you're hosting or welcoming surprise guests, you'll be ready for all of it for less. Grab them now before they're gone. Last-minute deals under $20. Happening now, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
And we're out. Back in 60.
Hey, what are you eating? Chimichurri filet mignon. It's a Factor meal.
Oh, nice. Wait, they let you eat like that in the pros?
Oh, they insist on it. A pro's work starts on the plate.
Oh, man, that does look good. Let me have a taste.
Get your own.
All right. Where do I find this? Is it factormeals.com?
Yep, and they've got a deal going on.
Oh, love a deal. I am so in.
Smart move. Pro move.
All right. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Gwen and Chris is available in podcast form. You can listen to the full show or hour by hour by searching for Gwen and Chris on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
12:24 on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We have now officially put ink to dry erase board, and we're going to put it pen to paper here and, put this all together. How many amendments do we have?
We had 8 plus a couple of
Side
under,
ones?
under,
Yes.
like a 3A.
Article 1A.
Yeah, we have a couple articles.
We put together the list of what justifies your fandom without being called a bandwagoner, and what it takes to be out of the purgatory of being a bandwagoner. Now, couple of questions that popped up in the chat that we haven't necessarily addressed, but we will put in as other articles. Frank thought he was done writing. Where's your stuff?
Man.
Did you drop the third one? I present you these 15.
Yeah.
You got to cut that for social. That's
No,
hilarious.
I will. Yeah, I did that joke specifically for one person, and she wasn't even watching.
Well, now you definitely have to post it on social.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, Bat fan in the chat, I saw this pop up. He says, can you have 2 teams, like an American League team and a National League team? Yes. Yes, you can. But you have to pick which one is your
number one.
Number one. And the one that's in your city should be your number one. And so when they play each other, that should be your number one. You need to have hierarchy of said teams if you're going to have multiple teams in certain leagues. I
think for a lot of us, even for me, the Angels are my American League team.
Yeah, I support the Angels. I have a couple of Angels gear. The Angels play the Padres. I'm not stuck when the Angels win. Here's the other thing about the Angels. It's my other levels of fandom. If the Angels were to win a playoff series or win the division or make it to the World Series and win the World Series again like they did in 02, I'm not buying World Series champion t-shirt Los Angeles. No. Good for them. I support. You can have teams like that you support, but you're not a fan.
Non-monetary support.
You're not a fan. You can pretend that's my other team. Sure. But you're not locked into Angels podcasts and stuff like that. It's just, you could have another team. But if you're going to have multiple teams, here's an article for you, amendment of multiple teams. They cannot be in the same division or in the same league.
Right.
There was too many times when I was at TCU where people, because growing up in Texas, you're either an A&M fan or a Texas fan. They grew up with their sports fan. Maybe you got to put an article in there for colleges. If you grow up a certain fan.
Oh,
and you're,
no.
What?
I just texted my mom asking if she was watching. She said, no, I'm having the time of my life at Kohl's right now, which means she has found the winter sock section.
Oh, boy.
And is buying every pair of socks known to man. Like I said yesterday, those Oscar Mayer socks, those aren't my socks. Those are hers.
You were wearing your mother's socks yesterday?
Well, they were brand new. She hadn't worn them yet.
So they're not.
Well,
Ew.
No one had worn them yet. They were brand new.
Wash them.
I
know where you put those socks. In the Ben Higgins cutout yesterday. The wiener socks into the Ben Higgins cutout that everybody saw yesterday.
Yeah, she bought Skittles socks, Fruit Loops, gummy bears. She bought Bob Ross.
By the way, I have to say, even though your mom didn't hear it, my mom texted me out of the blue about how funny the 15 Commandments joke was. Hilarious, referring to the history of the world. Mel Brooks, so funny. You appeased one mother today.
There we go.
There
See
you
that?
go. You're welcome. And a round of applause for Frank. Where's our studio audience? Come on, guys. Okay, the 2 teams thing. Here's the other amendment with the colleges. You have to hierarchy your colleges too, because of the fact that you can potentially have multiple colleges based on where your family is attended, who you grew up watching, because of your parents particularly, or where you're located. So for me, I root for 5 colleges. TCU, Tennessee, Arizona, San Diego State, High Point. Those are the 5 colleges. Eventually, they're going to play each other in certain things. And 2 of them are in the same conference. You must root for the school that you attended over all other schools.
To be fair, agreed on that. But to be fair, Arizona was not in
That's unfortunate
the Big 12
for me.
before. Yeah.
I had a school in every conference that seemed like it was great. Now that Arizona's in the Big 12, it's kind of odd.
Yeah, so
but still,
Arizona intruded into your territory.
Into my territory, the Big 12 conference, as I wear a Tennessee Volunteers football shirt today.
Well,
it is what it is. So you must root for your college that you attended over the one that you grew up watching or whatever. You actually have personal affiliation with said school. Again, I'm going to throw Nicky P under the bus, our good friend. He rooted for Oregon for a long time. It's over 15 years now. He did not attend Oregon. He had no rooting interest in Oregon. 15 years of Oregon fandom.
That's fair.
He's a
fan now.
But he went to USC. And they're in the same conference. And they've been in the same conference. And when USC plays Oregon, he usually roots for Oregon. See, that's a foul. That's, you know what?
That just means he didn't want to go to USC.
He went
to USC.
USC is a little bit better of an education than Oregon is.
No, I understand that, but that just means USC was not his first choice. It's like Penn State's football coach. He's not your first choice.
Add that amendment because I knew too many people at TCU.
That's Amendment 9.
I met too many people at TCU that grew up like a Texas Longhorn fan. They're at TCU and they're rooting for Texas. It's like, no, stop it. You're at the school. You root for the school that you're paying tuition for. Stupid otherwise. So, but anyway, like Cody in the chat from Wyoming, if you graduated from 2 colleges, does the higher degree take priority? No, your undergrad will always take priority over the master's or doctorate. Because that's when you're the 4 years that we're there.
Yeah.
That's the 4-year university, right? That's where you did all the fun college stuff. Like when you're getting your master's, you're just kind of getting your master's. You can do a lot of that online now. My buddy did that. He played at Irvine and at Western Kentucky.
We need another one. We need one last one. We need a 10th. We're on 9.
What's wrong with what I just gave you? Is that number 9?
Yeah, that's number 9.
Okay. Well, because he played at Irvine and Western Kentucky. He played 4 years at Irvine, 1 year at Western Kentucky. He didn't even step foot in one building at Western Kentucky. He did the classes online and then played baseball in the spring.
Cool.
If Irvine played Western Kentucky in sports, he's rooting for Irvine because he was there for 4 years.
Yeah.
One more fandom amendment?
Yeah, we need one more because it's, as we know from George Carlin, it's good marketing if it's 10 because it sounds official.
Maybe it's an article by an amendment to Article 3 of the family thing.
Mm-hmm.
If your kids play or attend said schools, you can now root for it.
That's not an amendment. That's an article to it. That's an addition to number 3. It's not a new thing.
Bad Fan has a question in relation to split jerseys. What if you, as a parent, are a fan of a team, but your son or daughter becomes pros and go to a different team? Should you have the professional athlete child amendment? College or professional athlete child amendment.
Yeah, that'll be number 10.
You must. I think you should root for.
You should root for the team your child's on.
Kids team.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and there's a lot of parents out there. You're like, oh, he's playing the Ravens. I've been a Ravens fan my whole life. I ain't rooting. He's on his own.
Root for your kids' team.
Root for your son or your daughter, or whoever you're. Yeah. For
I
college
will say
and pro.
this. I'm going to say this right now.
Yes, Sean. We have that in the articles of.
If I have a child who is fortunate enough to play professional baseball or professional hockey or whatever, if they become a Yankee, a Ranger, a Net, or a Jet.
I make fun of my buddy all the time saying his daughter's going to be a UC Santa Barbara college athlete.
I will root for those teams. I just admitted that I will root for the Yankees on one condition, that is if my child plays for them.
Adam Klug, did Tony Gwynn root for the Dodgers when Junior played for them? Probably didn't say it out loud. Probably. Like, was Tony Sr. happy when the Brewers knocked the Padres out of the playoffs on his son's knock against Trevor Hoffman? He probably was. I don't want to. I'm just saying. That's really going to stir the pot. Here's the article, the last one, the last amendment, number 10. If you're a parent and you went to college, you and your kids' schools play against your college, you must cheer for your own college to beat the kid's school unless the child is playing sports at their university or pro team.
Okay. That's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
It covers both things. That is number 10. So if, I'm going to use my family's example. Arizona. My mom went to Arizona. She's going to root for Arizona against TCU in any type of sport unless I physically played sports at TCU, and I'm on the team. Once I graduate, and if I was a player at TCU, then it's
Arizona all the way. Yeah.
Correct. I think that's a good final. Anthony, we've talked about the team leaving the city. That's part of it. And we're going to post this on social media later on. We're going to post this on social media later on. Our 10 articles of fandom. The Constitution of not being a bandwagoner. 10 amendments on this deal. Look, you know how easy it is, Congress, to get stuff done? It's so easy. So easy.
We got a full Constitution done in a half hour. What's the matter with you?
So easy. I think the 15-year bandwagon thing is fine. I think 15 years is fine.
Yeah,
and if the team happens to win in all 15 years, so be it.
Yeah, because you have to prove that you're ride or die for this team. It's not like a 5-year thing where you could get in a fluke. No, you have to. 15 years is a pretty good up and down, peak and valley range that you're going to go through.
All right, you have this all written down?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Do you need to physically write this down right now before we forget? Because you got to type it up for the.
This is on audio recording. I can go back and listen.
I'm trying to make your life easier in the future.
I'm trying to boost our podcast numbers.
So you're going to re-listen to it over and over again?
Yes.
Caesar, if my child played for a lifelong rival, I would wear his high school, college, minor league team jersey and root for them, not the team. That's fair enough.
Brother,
but if the team is doing well, you can't say that. You can't. That's like the whole I root for the players of the Chargers, but not the Chargers.
Yeah, brother, you can't say that. I just said on air in front of people that I would root for the Yankees if my kid played on the team. You're going to have to suck it up, but I'm sorry.
Those are our rules. We are the final rulers of that. If you have any stipulations or questions, we will rule on whether or not you're a bandwagoner. When we come back, since we went very long on this, we're going to talk about we didn't get into the technology thing for Major League Baseball. We're going to talk about that, and we need a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I saw people in the chat want to qualify for New Kids on the Block. We see you in the chat. Now's the time. Give us a call. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Take your down sports trivia when we come back. I'll tell you what you qualify for. Only 3 more days to qualify, including today for 2025. We'll get to that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. If you could take me down on some sports trivia, give us a phone call, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you could take me down to sports trivia today, you'd be qualified for a shot at our grand prize, 2 tickets to New Kids on the Block in Las Vegas on June 26th, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, and a $100 gas card. Calling all blockheads, New Kids on the Block just announced 2026 dates for their Right Stuff Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Don't miss all your favorite hits live in Vegas with New Kids on the Block, February to October 2026. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Did we figure out the, what is that? Oh, that's the Christmas deal.
That's the Christmas
on
gimmick.
The banners.
We got this one. We got that one.
Hey, we fixed our vertical too, which is nice.
Yeah, we got that one. We got.
How about that?
We got that one.
Is that it? What is Santa doing there? Is he making a sandcastle?
I'm gonna stop. We're gonna stop at that. Boxing Day, which is always fun. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Are we sponsored by Honda?
No.
In some way, shape, or form? The show, the station?
I don't think so.
Okay, so no Happy Honda Days.
No, don't be doing that.
Gingerbread? And yeah, so.
I like that one the best.
I do too.
What was, it's a beach snowman. Is that a pineapple? Is that SpongeBob's house?
I don't want to think anymore. I don't want to think anymore about what that is.
Interesting. What else is interesting is like our regular ones, like make the crop off.
No, that's a different. It's a different thing.
Where did you get that to make us vertical?
That's a different button.
Oh yeah, that's money. Is that this one, the cropped layout?
No, crop
okay,
layout.
That makes sense. We got it. Well, now that we can broadcast both vertically and horizontally, which is fantastic news, by the way, because now we can broadcast on Instagram.
Okay.
And we can do a bunch of other stuff with that. Also, it's better for you for cutting for social media purposes.
Well, no, all I have to do is just turn my phone and it looks fine.
I know, but like for people that watch on the vertical,
okay.
Like if you make an Instagram reel,
what psychopath watches on the vertical?
People that work on their phone, they can just like pop it up on YouTube on their phone. Like I think if I look at the YouTube app right now on my phone, I'm pretty sure like our show is vertical on here, which makes it easier if you're watching on your phone. It's also better on like Instagram and some of the other entities. All right. Tony said, by the way, we're talking about the bandwagoner stuff. And we're talking about rooting for your. Are you going to root for your kid's team that he plays on over the team that you played for or your favorite team? And somebody brought up in the chat Tony Gwynn Jr. playing for the Dodgers. Tony's going to talk to us about what it was like playing for the Dodgers with his dad, obviously, Mr. Padre, and what his dad was doing when it came to the situation at hand with the Tony Gwynn Jr. knocking the Padres out of the playoffs when he was a Brewer. We're going to hear from Tony on that to end the show today. He said, as long as I'm done with everything they need to do pre-show work, he'll jump on with us in the last couple of minutes. So
wonderful.
Wonderful is right. So we'll have that later on. They have Sean Lewis coming on at 3:40 today.
They do, yes.
It's going to be great. You guys look like you're in a Christmas tree lot. Hey, that's us.
Merry Crisis, everybody.
Sean Lewis will be joining the afternoon show at 3:40 today, talking about their bowl game coming up in the New Mexico Bowl. They got a tough matchup against UNT. North Texas is good. They could score a lot of points.
Which will be on the 27th.
We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow with Skyler. Skyler's joining the show tomorrow at, what did you say, 1 o'clock? Is that what time? 1 o'clock. Eddie Brown will join us at 1:35. We got Eric Williams at 11. Trying to track down Mark Ziegler, too, for the next couple of days. Should be a jam-packed show. We do want to get to the phone. We still have phone calls?
Yes, we do. We have 2.
All right. Who do we? I don't. My screen's not.
So
working,
we have Brad in Escondido. Brad, how's it going today, bud?
Brad's going to talk to us about. He's a big fan of Luisa Rise. That's where he's going to go with his fan.
I wanted to wish him a Merry Christmas.
I appreciate that.
Soon to be a Padre again. Hey, talking about the parent stuff, when you go to a predominantly D2 school like USD, and your son goes to ASU, about 3 years after you graduate, he goes, "Dad, I'd love to support your school, but you're never on TV."
Hey man, you're talking to the guy that broadcasts other games that are home on TV. ESPN Plus. Let's go. Come on. It's on cable now. ESPN Plus on cable now. Come on,
Brad.
Brad.
Their volleyball team on TV that my son goes, "Hey Dad, USD's team is girls volleyball."
Hey, you know what, Brad? USD is playing Gonzaga on December 30th, and that game will be on ESPN Plus, which will probably be on your cable provider now that has all the ESPN Plus channels. And I'll be on the call with Jack Cronin. So you know what? USD Gonzaga. You actually see an ESPN bug with USD on it for the first time. Alert the kid.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I'll upgrade my wardrobe. There we go. You guys are fabulous. Just wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, guys.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to you as well, Brad. Appreciate it.
You.
They're not on TV. What's the other phone call we got?
Tom in San Diego. Tom, how you doing today, bud?
What's up, Tom?
Hey, Merry Christmas, guys. How are you?
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to you. We're all good.
Yeah. Hey, I love this segment, and thanks for doing it. I've always been bothered by the bandwagon fan, the guy that comes over and roots for the Dodgers. I also wanted it included for like international soccer. I became a Everton fan in like 2007, so I think I crossed the threshold of being a fan now of the Toffees. And but I also wanted to throw out another curveball. How about people who are able to lower the threshold of being a fan by getting a tattoo on their body of the team?
So like instead of getting the 15 years to be a bandwagoner, if you permanently put their logo on your body, it speeds up the process.
Yes. I mean, that's got to show some.
You're committed at that point. You know what? That's a good good ask there. But Tom, you listen to like when we talked about the European soccer and some of that coincides with if you don't have a team in your local area, you can root for whatever team you want in the league that you want to root for. You don't have to go through the 15-year process.
Yes. All right. I graduated 18 years ago, baby.
There you go. He's locked in. He's not a bandwagoner anymore. I appreciate the phone call, Tom. Thank you very much. I didn't think about the tattoo thing.
Yeah, that
is a different level.
That's because that's psychopathic behavior is what that is.
You're committed though.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you right now, you're not putting a tattoo of a sports team's logo on your body to then jump to a different team.
No,
at a different time.
We have Dexter in Spring Valley calling in.
Dexter, what do we got today?
I'm about to nuke your Constitution.
Oh, no.
Because you guys broached on it with regards to European soccer. What about international competition? Because we're all, right now, those of us who are listening, for the most part, and for myself, American citizens. However, our families come from different parts of the world. Some of us are once removed, some of us are further removed. But like when we have stuff like, for example, I'll give you a great example, the World Baseball Classic, when the U.S. played Japan. I'm an American citizen, therefore United States, but I'm third generation Japanese, therefore Japan. However, I rooted for Japan the whole way because I didn't like any of the American players. But that's beside the point, because we have an Olympics coming up. Granted, it's winter next year. And then in 28, of course, we have the LA Olympics. So all of us who are like feeling our ethnicness will be rooting for athletes or teams from other countries that are not in the United States. However, what if, say, like we have the United States hockey team, in the Winter Olympics, go out there and, get to the gold medal round. And they're playing against, like, say, I'm going to use Frank, even though the probability is probably not as high, because I haven't heard anything, the Italian team, and they're playing the Italian team in the gold medal round. Are you an American, Frank, or are you Italian?
Oh no!
There you go. There's your nuclear bomb.
I'm rooting for. I'm Italian too, and I like rooting for Italy in a lot of different things, unless they play the United States.
Forza Azzurri.
I'm an American.
That's all there is to it.
I'm rooting for Team USA in everything.
No, we root for the motherland here.
I don't.
Okay.
My motherland is still the United States. I'm an American citizen. You root for your citizenship first, and then you root for whatever. Then it falls onto the family tree, right? Like we had before with where your family's from. I think you can root for those countries, but you should be able to. You should root for your. It's the same thing as like schools. School you go to over the school your parents went to. I'm Team USA all the way. And then after that, want to go to Italy? Sure. The other, I'm French Canadian though. It kind of throws it off a little bit because like the French don't like the Canadians and vice versa. So like I don't know if I'm Canada or France on that. But Team USA and then Italy for me. And if they played each other, I'm going Team USA.
I don't know what Rod is trying to get at here by asking you to say Walmart.
I don't know either. I just sometimes I let the chat do its thing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to set you up for.
But anyway, that's how I view it. Frank might be an Italian bandwagoner. That's fine. When they play Team USA,
stop it.
You can root for Italy, but you're an American. Where were you born? In the United States. You're an American.
In Little Italy.
Give me a break. They do not have jurisdiction over the United States in Little Italy. You weren't born at the consulate. I'm telling you. It's Team USA, and then it is your heritage of the other countries. You're an American citizen. Root for Team USA. I'm going to root for them in the World Baseball Classic. Final hour when we come back. We got more play out of the bandwagon thing than I thought. Nobody wanted to try to take me down on some sports trivia to win tickets against the New Kids on the Block, to qualify for New Kids.
I mean,
on the
we
Block.
always have. I mean, we have some time.
Hey,
If somebody calls in,
we're trying to help you
definitely.
guys out. How many qualifiers you have this week? One?
I don't know.
Guy
This
yesterday
is in the
lost.
wrong spot. There we go.
Guy yesterday lost. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. All right. Well, here's the deal. Let's get to, well, it is 1 o'clock. You know what time it is. Oh, boy. You know what? I bogged them down with all of the rules for the Constitution
Yeah, if you
of
guys
sports
can't,
fandom.
There's smoke. There's smoke coming out of my ears now. I have too much brain power used today.
So I don't think he remembers. I try to guess.
No. It has to do with size.
Excuse me?
Does it have to do with size?
Yes. Size does matter in this particular case.
Phrasing.
Got him.
Big
Didn't
fan.
take a lot of effort. Yes.
Hey,
Wow.
let's go.
It's time for our biggest fan. Congratulations to today's biggest fan. Oh, we need a pronunciation guide.
We need a pronunciation.
Mary Shavodian. Shavodian? Shovodian. Mary Shavodian in San Diego. Maybe one of those letters is silent. I don't know. Mary Shavodian in San Diego. Give us a call the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 97tothefantasy.com/biggest fan. Mary Shavodian in San Diego. You got 10 minutes. Give us a call. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. You'll qualify. What happened? Uh-oh.
It took too long. They were gone. I was going to say pick a number between 3 and 5, and then they were gone. Call back if you were calling to play for. Okay, hold on. Let's see.
We got a lot of stuff to give away in the 1 o'clock hour. We had the biggest fan. We also have the midday sports standoff. And also, do we have tickets to give away today or tomorrow? I think we have tickets to give away tomorrow. So Frank's dealing with that right now. We do want to, later on, we're going to preview the Aztecs and Air Force for college basketball today. They got a game tonight, San Diego State does, and then they will play on Saturday against Arizona, which will be at a neutral site in Phoenix. Be where the Suns play. Neutral site. Are you all right? What's going on?
We have a midday sports standoff contestant.
Let's get to our midday sports standoff. We got to get somebody qualified for New Kids on the Block. We only got a couple more days to do it. So let's get to the midday sports standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We have Tommy in Santee on the line today. Tommy, how are you, bud?
What's going on, Tommy?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Good,
Doing
good.
well.
All right, so we have 11 possible answers to the question today. And the question today is, there are 11 teams in the NFL who have not made the Super Bowl since 2000. Who are they? Tommy, you have the first pick.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
Jets is correct.
Turn the radio down, Tommy. Jets is a good answer. Chargers have not been to the Super Bowl.
Chargers, correct. Tommy.
Bills.
Who?
Buffalo.
Bills. Buffalo.
Bills, correct. Tommy, you got to turn your radio in the background
Turn
down,
the
bud.
radio down. The
Braden.
Cleveland Browns.
Brownies, correct.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Dallas, correct.
That was my next pick. The Lions have never made it to the Super Bowl.
Detroit, we got 5 left.
So the Vikings.
Minnesota, correct.
Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
I don't think they've ever made it to the Super Bowl. They've been close twice, but they've never made the Super Bowl.
3 to go. Tommy.
Texans.
Houston, correct.
Titans. They haven't been to the Super Bowl in the 2000s.
Let me actually, hold on. Let me just confirm.
They were like in the 90s.
I know. Hold on. I want to confirm. Just we're in a holding pattern here.
Well, I just looked it up. The season was 1999. The Super Bowl was in 2000.
Okay, so then there we go. Tommy, you can win it right here. Or actually, no, never mind. Sorry, you have 5. You need 6. Keep going.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, correct.
All right. They've gone. Who else in my head?
Or actually, wait a minute. No, that's 6. Tommy, you're in.
I was going to say.
Yeah, you're in. So, Tommy, congratulations. We'll keep going until we get to the end of the list here, but you are qualified. Congratulations. I know math. I know how to do numbers.
How many are we waiting on?
There's 2 left.
All right. NFC West, everybody's been to the Super Bowl since 2000. The NFC South, everybody's been to the Super Bowl since 2000. NFC North.
Oh, wait a minute.
We've already gotten the 2 teams.
There's 1 left.
There's 1 team left.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, there's 1 left. There's 1 left. I know numbers, I swear.
There's 1 team left.
See if Braden can get this. Yes.
Who are the teams that we named already?
So you got the Chargers, Browns, Lions, and Jags. Tommy got the Jets, Bills, Cowboys, Vikings, Texans, and Dolphins.
Commanders.
There it is. There is number 11. So, Tommy, congratulations. Hang on the line. I'll get your information. But, yes, those are the 11 teams that have not made the Super Bowl since 2000.
It's funny, like everybody in the NFC South has made the Super Bowl. It's arguably one of the worst divisions. Bucs made it a couple of times. They've won it. Carolina has made it a couple of times in the 2000s. Atlanta made it in the 2000s. New Orleans won one in the 2000s or since the 2000s. And everybody in the NFC West, Cardinals, Niners, Seahawks, Rams. Pretty impressive. Dallas Cowboys have become close. I mean, their last Super Bowl, I think, was in the 90s.
Just goes to show you how much parity there is in the NFL that in 25 years,
all but 11 teams have made the Super Bowl.
Yes, have played in it.
Pull up the baseball one real quick. Not win, but like make the World Series. Their list is probably bigger than 11. They have 2 less teams. World Series matchups, because everybody always wants to say how parity it is in Major League Baseball, which it's not.
Okay, so I don't know. Should I say this out loud, because we could use it as the topic for tomorrow's quiz?
We can't, because we've already mentioned it. You can use it. You know what you can use it for? You can use it for a topic in 2026.
Okay.
Give it 2 weeks, people will forget.
So Mets, Yankees.
Yes.
Diamondbacks, Angels, Giants. So that's 5. Marlins, 6. Red Sox, Cardinals, 8. White Sox, Astros, 10. Tigers, 11. Rockies, 12. Phillies, Rays, 14. Rangers, 15.
That means there's 15 teams that have it.
Hold on. 15. Royals, 16. Guardians, Cubs. Was it 17? Did I say 15? Were the Royals 15?
Yeah, you're at 17.
So 17. Nationals, 18. Dodgers, 19. Bravos, 20.
Everybody but 10.
Yeah.
They do have 2 less teams. Since 2000. I mean,
that's
go
since
through.
2000, yes.
Blue Jays made it. Yankees made it. Red Sox.
Oh, that's so
Rays.
21. 21 with the Blue Jays.
So 9 teams haven't made the World Series. You just go by division. The Blue Jays made it. The Yankees, the Red Sox, Rays, and Orioles. In the Central,
Orioles
the Guardians
have not made it.
Yeah, right.
Since 2000.
So there's 1. In the Central, Guardians have made it. Tigers have made it
twice.
Royals have made it
twice.
White Sox have made it
once.
Did the Twins make it? I don't think the Twins have been
the Twins
in the World
have not
Series.
made it. No.
So that's 2 teams off the list. In the West, Astros, Rangers, Angels. Have the A's and the Mariners made the World Series?
No.
So that gives you, what is that, 4 teams in the American League?
Yeah.
4 teams in the American League have not won the American League pennant since 2000. Hey, maybe it is more parity than we think. National League, Phillies have made it. Mets have made it. Marlins, Braves, and the entire National League East has made it.
Mm-hmm.
National League Central, the Cardinals have made it.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs have made it. What about the Reds, Pirates, and Brewers?
No.
So that's 3 there. In the West, the Rockies, everybody but the Padres have made the World Series since 2000.
Yeah.
And almost everybody has won. The Rockies, the only team that didn't win, that made it to the World Series in the National League West. So it's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 in the National League and 4 in the American. So 8 teams have not made the World Series in baseball since 2000. Now, have they all won?
No,
not quite. Sad. Now I'm disappointed we did that.
That moment. It's not even that. It's also that moment when you completely destroy your no parity in baseball argument too.
There's maybe more parity in baseball than you think. Now, if you look at the last 10 years, it's probably drastically different.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
In the National League, it's the Mets, the Cubs.
Well, then that would
the
be 14
Dodgers,
and 15 if you're going all the way back to 2015.
Yeah, 2015.
I was going to 16
Let's just go
because that would be 10 years.
Let's go 15. Mets, Cubs, Dodgers, Nationals, Braves, Phillies, Diamondbacks. So 7 teams in the National League have made the World Series. In the American League, Royals, Guardians / Indians, Astros, Red Sox, Rays,
Yankees,
Rangers, Yankees, Blue Jays. About half and half. Half the league has made the World Series since 2015.
I don't think we need a salary cap for it.
You definitely need a salary cap and a salary
you
cap.
definitely.
You know what all those teams have in common? Half the league, they were all top half in payroll.
Yes,
which is the massive problem for Major League Baseball. Dave Roberts leaves out orange juice and cookies for Santa. Well, at least he still gives them the cookies, Augie. 833-288-973. We don't have any tickets to give away, right?
Not today, no. We are giving away tickets to San Diego State tomorrow and on Friday. Tomorrow is going to be their game against Whittier.
The Poets.
Yes. And then Friday, we'll be giving away tickets to their game against Boise State.
Speaking of money, I think Major League Baseball and college football are relatively the same product right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean by that? We'll explain when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. It's not over yet. It's got 2 more segments on the day on a Wednesday, December 17th. Getting you ready for Gwen and Chris coming up after us. We'll have coverage of, well, we won't, but, Aztec basketball is tonight. San Diego State will take on Air Force. We'll talk about that game when we come back to finish up the show and hear from Tony Gwynn Jr. to talk about our constitution of what makes you a fan and not a bandwagoner fan. You want to weigh in on that? We will be posting on social media. We made 10 rules what to justify you as being a regular fan and not a bandwagoner. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. So we have that today. Coming up tomorrow, Ben and Woods are going to have their year in review show, and then they're going to have their holiday extravaganza show on Friday. Should be fun. Coming up on Gwen and Chris later on this afternoon at 3:40, Sean Lewis, head football coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, will give a preview of their game in the New Mexico Bowl, which will be happening during our break that we will be on. Tomorrow's show is jam-packed for us already. Eric Williams will join us to talk about Seahawks and Rams, which will be a great game tomorrow on our airwaves on 97.3 The Fan. We will also have Skylar, the queen of college football, will join us at 1 o'clock to make all the rest of their bowl picks. And then we will have Eddie Brown to get you set for, hopefully, what is you advancing in your fantasy playoffs. He'll get you set for everything you need to know with that tomorrow. So it should be a fun show tomorrow. Anything that comes about in the baseball world, we will have it for you here on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station, 97.3 The Fan. I did want to talk about the similarities between baseball right now and college football, which I find ironic, some of the comments that are made for both leagues. We're going to talk about that in a second. We do want to get to your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I think we have Derek in La Mesa, Frank, on hold.
Sorry.
You got Derek in La Mesa?
Yes.
Derek, what's going on?
What's up, brother? Hey, a quick take on my kid playing college sports, and then I got a major veto on Amendment 2 of Article 8, brother.
Okay.
So, one of the most excruciating things I ever had to go through in my 54 years on this planet was walking into Autzen Stadium in Eugene wearing Washington State gear when my oldest was playing football at Wazoo. Dude, it was brutal. I took so much grief for that. But I will say this, though. Hey, brother, Amendment number 2 on Article 8, I got to put a big veto on that, bro. I've been an Oregon Duck fan, football fan, for 40 years. Just because I played another sport at San Diego State does not make me root for the Aztecs on the football field over my 40-year fandom of the Ducks. I got to veto that, bro.
Got to root for your school, man. Got to root for your school that you attended. But you know what? You're not a bandwagon because you spent more than 40 years rooting for the Ducks. So, but you better not root. But you can. Do you root for Oregon baseball over Aztec baseball?
I was just going to tell you that. Absolutely not. There's no way I can do that. I am an Oregon Duck football fan.
All right.
Not basketball, not baseball.
Just football. I think that's fair. You don't have to worry about them playing the Aztecs in football too much anyway.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Hey, guys, have a great Christmas. Love the show.
You too, Derek. Have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and happy New Year to you and your family as well. See, that's another one too. Like, it's interesting. I don't know if we can add it now. I think it's an article in the job part. Remember the job part?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I do play-by-play for USD.
Yeah,
we have played TCU a couple of times.
That's personal affiliation.
I cannot root for TCU in those instances.
No.
My friends would disagree with me on that. But you know what? If the school or the team is paying your deal, that comes over. That's like livelihood over, your fandom. So, but the other thing too is I had like a more personal connection with the USD teams at that time than any of the TCU teams, and we've played TCU a couple of times now in baseball. And as Derek said, he was wearing Washington State stuff at Autzen Stadium. I mean, that's an eerie experience. I was wearing USD stuff at TCU baseball. I'm just saying, like, that was a difficult experience too. There's some people talking smack, and I'm like looking at them. I have a degree from this place.
Like,
I don't even know if you do. I have a degree here.
Calm down.
This is my school. Trust me, I want the Frogs to win always. But you know what? If they lost the game to USD in baseball, so be it. We'll take the L. Fired up for USD baseball in that sense. USD volley, all the teams that I work with, they take precedent over my college. But you know what? It worked out because the TCU equipment guys hooked me up with some TCU baseball gear after that series.
Attaboys.
Which is the best part.
By the way, if you guys are looking for something fun to do on Monday,
shameless plug.
No. There's no shameless plug for anything that we're doing. It's a shameless plug for us to get something. If for anyone looking for something fun to do on Monday, the Anaheim Ducks are up at the Honda Center, up at the pond this weekend on Monday. They're giving away Nut Quackers, which is their mascot.
Wild
Wing as a nutcracker.
That's hilarious.
Nut Quackers for the first 10,000 people there. If anyone wants to go, and if anyone has a spare nut quacker.
A nut what?
Nut quacker.
Okay.
We would love one. We would love.
Who's we?
You and
Frank
I.
would love one.
No, you and I.
Frank would love one.
You and I would both love. Some would love us a nut quacker.
You would love yourself a what?
Totally. Say it again.
A what?
A nut quacker.
A nut quacker.
Quacker, yes.
You're doing.
Don't make me say it again.
To the nuts? You're quacking them?
Yeah, well, that's what they're called. That is the giveaway. If you look at the Ducks,
Close.
If you look at the if you look at the Ducks Twitter,
why are you sweating?
I'm not sweating. If you look at the Ducks Twitter, they're called nut quackers.
A nut quacker.
Yeah, they're not nutcrackers. They're nut quackers.
Nut quacker.
I'm serious.
Frank wants a nut quacker for Christmas.
I'll put it up on the screen right now.
A nut quacker. I know what you're saying. I'm just.
No, I know you are. It's the chat being a bunch of goobers.
How about Augie posting a picture of the emojis of a duck and a drum for pet half quack? Foul on Nate.
What happened there?
He draws the foul.
Perspiration equals guilty. Hold on. I'm not going to. No, this.
You can't get up to the game. You got the day off. Take the
no.
train. You could take the train up there.
Hold on. See here. Here's the.
Okay.
There it is.
You didn't want to click on the image so you can see the.
Well, no,
image?
it's you can't. You can't see the image if
you can't just click on the image right now and just make that big. Oh, there you go.
There you go. There's the image. But we're giving away these nut quacker bobbleheads presented by UC Irvine Health.
The Ducks are giving those away.
The Ducks.
Don't say we, and then people think they're going to call in and get it. You need to clarify that.
I was reading the.
You
tweet
have corporate Big Ten. I have legal Braden Surprenant here.
Legal
Lawyer
Eagle.
Braden.
Our legal eagle over here.
The Anaheim Ducks are giving away nut quackers.
Yes, the Anaheim Ducks tweeted, "We are giving away these nut quacker bobbleheads presented by UC Irvine Health." See, nut quacker.
I see that. I just wanted you to say something stupid.
Well,
those look kind of cool. He's got a little hat and everything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
They're awesome.
Did you see? I sent that to you. Did you?
And why would we give away anything sponsored by UC Irvine Health?
You know what? What do you have against Peter the Anteater, buddy?
I'm just saying. Why would we?
The San Diego Zoo sponsors stuff for the Angels.
We have 3 colleges here, 3 major universities. We have UC San Diego, USD, and San Diego State, and we're gonna pick something to sponsor that we're not affiliated with, the Anaheim Ducks. And 2, we're going to use UC Irvine to do it.
UC Irvine could sponsor some of our. It's called recruiting, bud.
Oh,
they're trying to recruit the hot market that's San Diego. I saw Pete today. I saw a sticker, a UC Irvine Anteater sticker on a card today. You know what? The movement is growing.
I saw that an anteater's tongue is about 2 feet long.
Why are you talking about an anteater's tongue, dude?
Because
that's kind of odd.
Saw
Nut quackers,
that popped
phrasing,
up on my feed.
Pause. You might have to stop talking.
Good idea. I got
what
work to catch up on anyway.
Frank wants to give away a bag of WWE air. No, he does not. All right, we were going to talk about this the college football thing for a second. Let's do it because we have a couple of minutes. The uphill climb that not only San Diego State's facing, but everybody's facing. The college football playoff doesn't showcase the best teams right now, not just the best teams. It also has a lot of the richest ones. This year's 12-team field dominated by programs with the largest football budgets, the highest paid coaches, and the most expensive general managers and player payrolls. While results still matter on the field, financial gap between contenders has grown so wide that in some matchups, one coach makes more than the opposing program's entire football operation. Half of the college football playoff field ranks in the top 14 nationally in football revenue. The 4 biggest spenders all made the playoff. The nation's 2 highest paid coaches are in the field. 3 of the 4 highest paid general managers are also represented. Money doesn't guarantee a title, Frank, but it almost guarantees a seat at the table. This is the same conversation we're having in baseball right now.
Yep.
Again, sports shouldn't be about who can spend the most money. It should be about under categorizing the same rules, who can put together the best team under the same rules. And right now, there are no rules in college football.
Absolutely correct. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the longer it's allowed to go just completely untethered, the more unhinged it's going to be. If you look at the numbers that are in the article that we're probably going to talk about next segment, it's insane how big of a gap there is between in just the teams that are in the college football playoff this year. It's insane.
It is insane. Texas leads the nation at $200 million+ in football revenue. Ohio State, $160.5 million. Alabama, $78.5 million in revenue compared to Tulane, who made $22.7 million in revenue. Again, not profit. We're talking about revenue. This is before expenses. And James Madison, who made $8.3 million in revenue. They're probably losing money. Oregon James Madison matchup features.
They are losing money.
Guarantee you
there's another graph below it that shows that they are losing money.
Oregon and James Madison features a matchup of a $93 million revenue gap, the largest disparity in college football history, including the 4-team era. Here's your coaching salaries. Kirby Smart at Georgia is making $13.3 million. Ryan Day is making $12.6 from Ohio State. Dan Lanning at Oregon making $10.4 million. And Kalen DeBoer at Alabama is making $10.3. Meanwhile, John Summerall at Tulane is approximately $3 million in his salary. But that's a guess because it's a private school. James Madison, Bob Chesney's making $833,000. Oregon's defensive coordinator makes $2 million on his own. James Madison's entire roster plus head coach combined make under $1.9 million. Dan Lanning alone makes 3 times the amount of money James Madison's total football operating budget. Dan Lanning makes 3 times more than James Madison's entire budget for football.
It's disgusting. And those are 2023-24 numbers. Those are not the most recent numbers. Those are from a couple of years ago.
Once schools could largely legally pay players directly starting on July 1st, the gap widened further. Texas Tech football NIL budget's $13.5. They actually can pay for kids. Oklahoma NIL collective is $32 million over all sports. James Madison revenue sharing just over $1 million split among 34 players. Some James Madison football players made less than $10,000 while basketball players earned more. NIL agents ranked top spenders, Texas Tech, Miami, and Texas A&M. Bottom tier of the group, Oklahoma, Tulane, James Madison. You got basically professional payrolls versus semi-amateur budgets. What does this mean for the college football playoff? The expanded playoff was sold as more access, more parity, more opportunity for smaller programs. Instead, it's become a showcase for financial power, a bracket where Cinderella stories require miracles, and a system where money buys margin for error. And the question I asked that we're going to answer when we come back, did the college football playoff expansion expose the sport's biggest lie, that anyone can win? We're going to answer that when we come back to finish up the show on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. August of 97 to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapiro.com. We got just under 10 minutes, about 10 minutes to get a lot done in this segment. We need to talk about. We'll talk about the college football playoff deal. We're going to talk about San Diego State Air Force and Tony, if he has time with their pre-show production stuff, will stop by to talk about our constitution of what it means to be a fan and not be considered a bandwagoner. We got a lot of play out of that today. A lot of people had fun with that today, Frank.
Yes, and fortunately, the joke that I did for one person hit with that one person.
That's
So
all you needed.
That's all that matters.
That
to
made
me.
that entire segment worthwhile.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about the college football thing. Did the college football playoff expansion expose the sport's biggest lie that anyone can win? I think that was always a lie. It was always a lie. And I remember when they made the play. Here's the thing about the college football playoff, and I am super against the current process of it. And I have been since 2014 when I was scorned by the decision-making that they had. But I remember, here's the fight that everybody talked about. Nobody had a problem with the BCS system. They had a problem with the fact that they just picked two teams to play for a national championship. That's what the problem was. And so as the powers that be in college athletics that want to keep everything to themselves, especially with the money. And again, we talked about the money just moments ago about how much money these schools are making. They don't want to share any of this money. We talked the fact that Ole Miss playing Tulane this weekend is going to have an economic impact of over $75 million for the Oxford area in Mississippi. That's a massive, massive economic impact for a city like Oxford. So there's a lot of money to be played here. A lot of money to be spent, a lot of money to be earned. It's always been about money. People complained about the BCS because they didn't want to see two teams play in the national championship. They wanted a playoff. And so what they did was they created a playoff, but instead of just keeping the BCS system in rating teams, they needed to make sure that they got to pick who was in the playoff. And so they made a 4-team playoff. And then they had, let's have a committee. And let's have a committee pick who the best 4 teams, in our opinion. And then what they did was they continued to pick 4 schools. And they always had a lot of the 4 schools that were at the top that were part of the club. And they would finagle and change all of the terms it took to make the college football playoff. And they would always change it. You have to be a conference champion. That was the first year. They had to be a conference champion because that benefited schools like Ohio State who won their conference that year. They wanted Ohio State in the playoff. And then a couple of years later, then it was only 4 schools could really win a national championship. These are the best 4 schools. And then when a team that was good enough that didn't win a conference championship they still wanted to be in the college football playoff, they changed the narrative again. Oh, we got to pick the 4 best teams. It was all about the 13th data point. Then it wasn't. And now, as they have expanded to 12 teams, and we have now gotten a second year of 12 schools in the college football playoff, I think everybody's starting to realize how much of a joke the seeding is and who gets to go to the college football playoff with how they have finagled and have changed the demographics of everything every single year. And now, since they pigeoned themselves into a rule with automatic qualifiers and the ACC being in shambles of trying to determine a champion in their conference, you got James Madison and Tulane playing in the college football playoff, which upsets everybody because they're not part of the club. We got to have Tulane and James Madison collecting $4 million for their conference. This is absurd. And then the narrative changed again. It was we got to pick the best 12 teams and forget all this conference championship mumbo jumbo. And the more that they expand and the more that they have automatic qualifiers in this particular deal, Frank, the more national media is finally getting awakened to the fact that this entire thing is a sham. And it needs to be fixed.
Yes.
And it's not about determining who the best team is in college football. It's never been about that. Where's that meme of the astronauts with the Ohio flag on the side? What, this is never about determining who the best team was? Never has been. Never has been. They want to protect what makes them the most money. These TV contracts, these massive games, TV ratings. ESPN makes a fortune on TV ratings for these games. They want to have the teams that supply the biggest ratings. All these conferences want to make the most money. The ones that want to make the most money, obviously, the Big Ten and the SEC, They like being in control. And they know that if everything is equal in terms of spending and having a chance to make the college football playoff, they won't be the teams making the championships or the tournament every single year. Look what happened with the SEC once everybody else got to spend money. Started to fall back down to the pack a little bit. Schools like Texas Tech starting to emerge. Schools in the Big Ten starting to emerge a little bit more than just Ohio State and maybe Michigan. It's starting to level the playing field a little bit. They don't want that to be the case where they have to only get a certain amount of spots. I mean, the reason why they don't want to have the powers that be, the SEC and the Big Ten, they want to have all these at-larges because they know they can control it with recruiting and get the best players and continue to fill those spots. Once you have automatic qualifiers, the big advantage that the SEC and the Big Ten has on everybody else goes away. They already had the advantage of paying everybody before anybody else, before it was legal and everybody else could. Now you got teams like Indiana competing for an NCAA tournament.
Allegedly.
Competing for the college football playoff. But now that paying is all the same, the thing that they have that nobody else has is the atmospheres, and they also have a for sure clean path to a playoff spot because they're always going to get the at-large. It's built for the top 1%. But once you start including every conference, guess where these kids are going to start going to play? Wherever the money is, and they have a chance to make the college football playoff. That's the last benefit the SEC and the Big Ten has over everybody else, and they're hanging on to it for dear life. And I don't think anything I'm saying, Frank, is that crazy or out of the ordinary.
No, I think it's very obvious for the most part as to what is actually going on. It's these big conferences want to get as much money in as possible, and they've been so used to controlling college football and the college football landscape for so long that they're now throwing a fit that they can't get it their own way. And same thing, you're seeing it with ESPN and Fox and these analysts that go out there and are like, oh well, these schools shouldn't even be playing. Well, then why? And I think we brought this up yesterday is, well, if they shouldn't be playing, period.
Why are they in the division?
Why are you playing them? Why are they schools that you insist on playing every single year as a quote unquote tune-up game for you to get ready to play in the conference?
Yeah, it's like, let's create another division. Like somebody put out like, oh, this bracket would be great in the group of 5. Like everybody, nobody's going to watch that because it's no longer the top bracket.
No one watches the NIT.
No, they're not going to watch. They're going to watch a group of 6 only bracket. People say like, oh, these matchups are great. Yeah, but they're not going to watch it. It's going to be put on the back burner. In 5 years, you're going to have Kirk Herbstreit again on a podcast going like, oh, there's no college football today. Meanwhile, it's the semifinals of the group of 6 bracket.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why the schools are in the Division I is so they can compete for the top level. It's beneficial for their school. Once they take that away, that would be the death of all the group of 6 schools. Just look at Air Force as we transition to Air Force basketball. Again, they're all playing by different rules. What do we talk about Major League Baseball? We want everybody to just play by the same rules. That's why a salary cap and a salary floor is great. In college athletics, play by the same rules. Not everybody can play by the rules that they're catering to the top 1%, just like baseball's doing by catering to the top 1% with the rules that are in place. Air Force basketball is in town this week, tonight, to play San Diego State. They're not just struggling. They are structurally being erased from the modern rules of college athletics. Mark Ziegler had a great article previewing Air Force today for San Diego State. You think it's bad for the Aztecs, even worse for Air Force. Their head coach, Joe Scott, talked about it in this article. He's speaking in abstractions when he calls the current system horrendous for service academies. It is horrendous for service academies. Air Force has an average of just 0.41 years of D1 experience, ranking 359th out of 365 programs. They're not rebuilding ever. They're just in survival mode. Mark Ziegler laid out what the roster looks like. They have a 16-man roster with 9 freshmen, 3 sophomores, 4 juniors, no seniors. 7 years ago, Air Force ranked 56th in Division I experience and number 1 nationally in minutes continuity. because they would have kids and they would be there for 4 straight years, and they would have this group that was able to play at a D1 level because of continuity, consistency, and staying at the school the whole time. If you just look at the timeline, in 2004, Air Force won the Mountain West Championship. They were in the NCAA tournament. They were elite. They returned in 2021. They built wins from 5 to 11 to 14. And then the NIL and transfer rules arrive. And since then, Air Force has been 9-22, 4-28, and just 3 Mountain West wins in 38 games. They're playing by a different level. They are playing by different rules than everybody else. They don't get NIL for cadets or federal employees. They don't get to replace people in the transfer portal because they don't accept transfers. They can't take junior college kids. They can't get G League players or overseas professionals. They don't do red shirts, and they don't do late roster fixes. All they can do is develop freshmen and hope that Clemson, Cal, Texas Tech, Nebraska, and Utah State doesn't go, hey, why don't you transfer to our school where you don't have to be in the Air Force anymore, and we'll pay you to come play for us. Head coach of Air Force Joe Scott said, we don't do anything, but I can lose every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even close to being the same level of comparison.
And
it's drastic because it's the service academies versus everybody else. But the removal of the sit-out year has turned this into unrestricted free agency, one-way development pipelines, and you can let Joe recruit them at Air Force, let Joe coach them, and then we'll just take the finished product. This is the small market teams right here. They're not playing by the same rules. And it's not just Air Force. It's San Diego State, it's USD, it's UCSD. It's a stupid system that caters to the top 1% in college. And that is what everybody is wanting to get fixed. Unless you're part of that top 1%, a.k.a. the Los Angeles Dodgers. They love them the way the system is. For Frank Marchese, I'm Braden Surprenant. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow on the Braden Surprenant Show. Gwen and Chris coming up next.